with an electrifying score and a store filled with secrets, betrayal, and celebration. For tickets, call 248-377-3300. That's 248-377-3300. Or visit Ticketmaster.com. $1 Million Quartet, now through May 17th at Meadowbrook Theater. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's not just morning, it's a JR morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and on the WJR app, where Michigan comes to talk.
Well, good morning. Good to have you here on a Thursday. And what a night it was last night. The Pistons get back on track.
Man.
And it's exactly what they needed, quite frankly. They beat the Magic 98-83. And I just thought, they hung around there in that first
half. It was 46-46 at halftime.
And I actually didn't get to see much of it.
Okay.
We had baseball last night,
sure.
so I was out coaching kids to run around the bases as fast as they could. But I didn't get to see a ton of it. So when I went back and watched it later on, it was just kind of a messy game. It felt like, and it was just staying blow for blow.
Mm-hmm.
And they did.
They did it. Yep.
And then the second half, obviously, that third quarter really took them over the edge.
Outscored them 38-16. 38-16 in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was really impressive. Defensively, they were really good too in that third quarter.
And that was the least points that Orlando has scored basically all year. Was 80 points. I mean, Orlando, they're a high-scoring team. That 11-game home playoff losing streak is over.
How about that, too?
That's good.
That is good.
Yeah. No, that kind of just loosens them up, I'm hoping now. And,
one less thing you got to worry about.
Isaiah was there last night. Ben was there. Big Ben was there. Rip Hamilton was there.
Yo, Ben Wallace. First of all, he looks great.
He does.
But he looks old.
That gray man is really...
he just got that makes me feel old.
I know.
I mean, the going to work Pistons, those were my Pistons.
Oh, but
every time they show Ben Wallace, I'm like...
Man, has it been that long?
Yeah. Say, unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool to see those guys still come by, though.
Yeah. They said, listen, man, we're still Pistons. We want to support them, and I'm glad they do.
Yeah, it's very cool. So now this series all tied up at 1.
Saturday is the next game.
Saturday, the next game, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Pretty good. Meanwhile, the Tigers win yesterday. They beat Milwaukee 5-2, and the rubber match today at 1:10 first pitch down at Comerica Park. They're looking to win another series, and that's all you do at this point.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Just win the series.
Yeah.
And that'll put you over the top. Finally, how about Spencer Torkelson getting a home run yesterday?
Yeah.
Off the schneid, he has been offensively, he's been really, really bad so far here to start the year. But it's nice to see Tork get in the mix.
A legal battle is already brewing in Michigan's Republican race for governor just one day after the unofficial August primary ballot was set. Now, businessman Perry Johnson, he is suing U.S. Congressman John James, claiming James is misleading voters by using campaign materials that labeled himself simply as governor without clarifying he's a candidate and not the current office holder. The complaint filed in Ingham County Circuit Court argues that violates state law by creating the impression of incumbency and gives James an unfair advantage. Johnson's campaign asking a judge to force James to stop using the wording and remove or destroy existing materials. James's campaign is dismissing the lawsuit as political theater, pointing out Johnson previously used similar wording in his own campaign materials. The case now heads to court, where a judge will decide whether the language crosses a legal line or is simply standard campaign branding.
You know what somebody sent me yesterday?
What's that?
Somebody sent me a picture of a mailer that Perry Johnson has sent out.
Okay.
And on the mailer is a check that Perry Johnson has signed, the 47.
Yeah.
And on the bottom corner of the check, it says Perry Johnson, governor.
Okay. Well,
isn't that exactly what you're accusing John James of doing?
Yes.
I think this is why people don't like politics. I think this is why some people they want to be completely disassociated from it. I think that's why. I think this is an exact reason as to why.
Like, man, just, fix the state and, help me with my kitchen table issues and stop all this other stuff.
Senate Republicans pushed through a budget resolution overnight in a vote-a-rama that set up billions of dollars in funding for ICE and CBP through the end of Donald Trump's term. It will use budget reconciliation as a way to bypass the Democrat support. It bypasses the filibuster efforts that will be in place. And the plan here, according to what we're seeing out of the GOP, is to front-load immigration enforcement funding and then fund, DHS on the other side, because we still don't have anything on that. So there is, of course, you've got Democrats going, well, this is crazy. You guys are just trying to push through. Yeah. Actually, I think it is what they're doing. I think they are trying to push this through.
Yeah.
So if they move past this part with all the ICE funding and things like that, then they can come back to the table and go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Can we pass the rest of this, please?
Yes, absolutely.
So look, this is, again, why people get upset about what's going on in Washington, because nobody can figure out just do your job.
No, it's always a hot mess there.
It does seem to be that way.
Yeah.
You know what else tonight is? Tonight is the NFL draft, night 1 in Pittsburgh. Man. Yeah. And what are you
expecting from us?
I think if you were to hold me to it,
okay,
I think there is probably a 99% chance they are going to draft an offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be my guess.
No.
Now, possible they could go D-line, but I think it's more likely they go offensive line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
But Jamie's got to be thrilled because it's in Pittsburgh.
That's right. Yeah.
So I'm sure she'll be watching
see how
with excitement.
Handles it. Wonder if they handle it as great as we did.
What do you think? She's not here. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nobody.
It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. Nobody did it better.
It's going to be hard to beat. Here's the thing about that. I was thinking about this too, is that's like our thing.
Uh-huh.
So of course, it's like people who, I'm going to get into trouble here. People who they have their kids, it's their children. They love them so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they're sometimes babies are not the cutest.
Right.
But it's your baby.
Yeah.
So you love it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, I get that 100%. 100%.
I don't know.
And that's our baby.
It's our baby.
Yes, it is.
So we love it. We love it so much.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it can be beat.
No.
I don't think it can be beat. But now Pittsburgh on the clock.
Yeah.
And, look, they're going to do a great job.
Absolutely.
And really everywhere else has been pretty good. Green Bay was I actually liked the Green Bay one.
Green Bay was good.
It was different.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the same kind of footprint.
Yeah.
But it was still good.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh's going to be good too.
No, and Pittsburgh's a football town. Man.
For sure. Jason, are you waiting on bated breath to see who your Cowboys pick?
Number 12 and number 20 defense, baby. Let's go.
Just defense.
Defense.
All right, coming up on the other side, the Pistons tie their series up. Sean Windsor joins us to talk about it next on JR Morning.
The financial industry can be confusing. That's why our show, Expedition Retirement, has a new name. Join us for Fire Your Financial Advisor, Saturdays at 3 and Sundays at 5 on News Talk 760 WJR.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. At Hall Financial, we make mortgages easy and we make mortgages fast. And we do it with 5-star service from start to finish. With Hall Financial's Rapid Refinance, you could be approved to get cash out of your home's equity in as little as 1 day with the lowest interest rate we've seen in years. One client even got approved for $90,000 in under 24 hours, which allowed them to eliminate their credit card debt, start a home improvement project, and cut their monthly expenses by over $1,300. Imagine what it would feel like to be debt-free. We can do all this with a soft credit pull, so you don't even have to worry about your credit getting impacted. We have options available where you can even delay your mortgage payment for up to 2 months. If you want an easy, fast, and 5-star mortgage experience, call Hall Financial today. 866-CALL-HALL, or you can go to callhallfirst.com. That's Hall Financial, 866-CALL-HALL, or callhallfirst.com.
Hall Financial, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 1467435.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Get back to a place where nature lives up to its name. Your outdoor adventure begins right here at Pure Michigan's Great Lakes Bay region. Visit GoGreat.com to start planning your next trip. That's GoGreat.com.
Introducing Exclusively Cabinets, offering 9 different cabinet lines, with no budget too big or small. Exclusively Cabinets offer free state-of-the-art design services. Join our clientele of over 100 5-star reviews. ExclusivellyCabinets.com.
Thanks for calling the Complete Battery Source.
This is probably a long shot, but you guys carry a battery for my boat?
Yep, got that.
But you didn't even hear what kind of boat I have.
Don't need to. We're your Complete Battery Source, where the answer is pretty much always, yep, got that.
But what if I want a battery for my motorcycle?
Yep, got that.
I haven't been able to find a battery anywhere for my...
I got that, too. Look, Complete Battery Source has batteries for everything that uses batteries, and we stock batteries for virtual any boat, for personal watercraft and runabouts, to great big luxury motor yachts, and motorcycles, too. Why, we stock batteries to fit every bike, from little scooters to great big performance and touring bikes.
Well, that sounds great. Sounds like Complete Battery Source is the place to power up all my summer toys.
That's right. All you got to do is come into any one of the 5 Complete Battery Source locations: Brighton, Southfield, Ypsilanti, Okemos, and Houghton Lake. Call toll-free 877-ALL-BATS or click on yepgotthat.com. 5 locations. Now you got that?
Yep, got that.
Detroit Tigers single game tickets are on sale now. Get ready, Detroit, because baseball is back and this season is going to be electric. Building off the successes of seasons past, your Tigers are ready to keep the momentum rolling. Watch them take the field against some of the biggest names in the game, including postseason rematches with the Mariners and Guardians. From the roar of the crowd to can't-miss matchups, Comerica Park is the place to make memories all season long. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the action and grab your single tickets today at tigers.com/tickets.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Eastbound M14, the off-ramp to Sheldon Road. We have an accident this morning. Crash still taking up the left lane of westbound 94 at Van Dyke in Detroit. Traffic slow from Connor. And in Northville, Center Street between 7 Mile and Fairbrook closed due to a broken water main. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Weingarts. When you think about equipment that's built to last, John Deere is always at the top of the list. You'll find them at Weingarts, where they stand behind what they sell. Visit Weingarts.com to learn more. That's the Weingarts way. Here's your forecast.
Absolutely beautiful Thursday. Change coming on Friday, but a decent weekend coming up. Sunshine around today. A little cool to start, 75 later. Tonight will fall back to about 53. And the moon will hide behind the clouds just a bit at times. And tomorrow, a few showers, mainly after lunchtime, 75. And then some showers early Saturday. Most of Saturday turns out pretty nice and partly sunny. Cooler, 65. Mostly sunny on Sunday, 65. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Vince Colonnese is redefining news talk.
I'm Vince Colonnese, host of the Vince Podcast. I'm bringing you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories.
In-depth interviews.
We feature news-making interviews with the top guests on the whole planet. And I'll ask the questions you only dream of other interviewers asking.
And a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day.
It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. You are going to love Vince.
The Vince Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
I'm Kevin Dietz. Coming up on All Talk, we check in with Congresswoman Lisa McClain and get the latest scoop from Washington on the partial government shutdown and the war in Iran. Plus, the NFL draft gets underway. Who will the Lions take in the first round? We'll break it all down. All Talk is 9 to noon. You can stream us anytime at WJR.com.
Well, how about the Pistons outscoring the Magic 38-16 in that third quarter?
I mean, I'm watching the third quarter, and I'm like, what? I mean, they were just hitting everything from all cylinders, man. At one point, it was 30-3, that they had outscored them. I'm like, what?
Sean Windsor, the sports columnist at the Detroit Free Press, joins us to talk about it. Boy, Sean, they needed a win last night, and they got it.
They did. Their season was, yeah, right. Halftime, I think it was 46 all, and they're kind of still stuck in the mud. And you're thinking, okay, wow, number one seed are there. Just how much trouble are they in, right? It's it did not. There was uneasy in there at the Little Caesars Arena for the first half. So for the first 6 quarters of this series, it's like, okay, how are they going to figure out Orlando? And then boy, they did in the third quarter. 7-0, 5 or 5-0, 7-0, 9-0, 11-0, and then like you said, 30-3, and wow, that was really something.
And, I was telling Chris that, Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton, Isaiah, they are sitting courtside. How much did this game to actually resemble those going to work Pistons?
Well, yeah, it's funny. I mentioned that in my initial column last night. It resembled more the Rip Hamilton and Ben Wallace teams than maybe the Isaiah Thomas teams.
Yeah.
We forget that. They were flying up and down the court back in those days. It wasn't until the late 90s and early 2000s that all of a sudden it was stuck in the muck a little bit. But yeah, no, I was thinking that Ben Wallace would have fit right in that the game last night. Right? Yeah. I mean, both teams scored under 100 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They still are struggling a little bit from deep, but they dominated much more in the paint last night, which was good to see. But I mean, even some of the areas where I think they can still improve on, like their free throw percentage is just hovering around 50%, and from deep they've struggled the last couple of games. So there's still room here for them to kind of take off from.
No question. And Cade Cunningham, I'm sure going to mention him in a second, was I think 1 from 6 from 3, but really, really efficient overall. He's like 10 for 13 from 2. Yeah, from the 3-point line for sure. But Jalen Duren, who did not play well in game 1, didn't have he had a little bit better game last night, but there's still a lot of room for him. I think it was in the third quarter in the midst of that 30-3 onslaught where Cunningham finally gets downhill, gets into the paint, and literally drops it off into the breadbasket Duren, and then he goes up and lays it in or dunks it right. So he got going a tiny bit, but there's overall, yes, they dominated in the paint, which is what they do. They did not in game 1, so that's a good sign. But to me, guys, it's the defense, and they sort of doubled down on their identity, who they are. Javonte Green was great last night. Got a lot more minutes. They just Asar Thompson is the most unique defender in the league, I think, maybe outside of Wemby for sure. Down in San Antonio, he was great. And when those guys are flying around and turning you over and create chaos, it's really something to watch.
And Sean, let's talk about Cade for a minute. I mean, you wrote in your story that he finally broke free. What adjustment did he make that you think changed the entire game?
Well, to me, he scored 39, I want to say, and on fairly decent efficiency in game 1. So the bucket getting wasn't the issue. It was the assist, and it's not that he wasn't trying, looking for his guys, looking for his teammates. But in the third quarter, like I said earlier, when he got downhill and got the ball to Duren, he started spraying it around. He'd been trying that, but Orlando had been packing in so much that some of those lanes weren't there. They kind of used some high ball screens a little bit and started swinging the ball from side to side. But he, in particular, was kind of penetrating and kicking and finding guys. Tobias Harris in that third quarter,
Right.
Duncan Robinson hit a couple of threes in transition, so the kick aheads. But yet, when Cunningham is finding his guys and they're making shots, they're much more effective in that way. I think he had 3 assists in the first half. I want to say 7 in that third quarter in that 33 blitz, and that's when the Pistons are at their best offensively.
I think that when Tobias Harris plays that way, when he's into double-double territory like he was last night, to me, they're a very, very hard team to beat. I like him as a linchpin, obviously, Asar defensively, but when Tobias gets going, this team plays a little differently.
Oh, absolutely. And he didn't shoot as many threes, I want to say, as he did in game one.
No.
He was shooting from, just outside the paint area, the elbow area. They were in rhythm, and they were fairly open shots. They kind of, and Harris talked about it after the game, they found their gaps. They found the creases. They were a little bit more patient that way. And yeah, it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, you think I don't even remember what the final score, what they get 98 points or something. You think, okay, wow, 98. That's 3 fewer points than they had game one when they lost.
Right.
The efficiency was fine. Like you said earlier, they can improve. But boy, when they lock up like that and start running, it's outside of Oklahoma City, there's not a better defensive team in the league. And the way they defend right now, it's as good as I think we've seen in the league in a while. It's underrated to me still a little bit.
Sean, now that the series shifts to Florida, based on what you've seen in these 2 games, who actually you think has the edge in a long physical series like this?
Well, I think the Pistons are the better defensive team. They're the deeper team. They're the more connected team. I mean, maybe you could argue if you're going to break out the first 7, 8 players. Orlando might have a touch more talent, but the Pistons also have the best player in the series in Cade Cunningham. And I think that usually favors you. Orlando obviously has home court.
Yeah.
They have a decent crowd down there, right? That's a pretty good fan base. It's not like Miami.
No, it's not.
Where they need Dwayne Wade and LeBron James and Chris Bosh to fill up, right?
Right.
And to go crazy. That's a Dolphins town down there anyway. Let's be real. But but Orlando is a decent basketball town, right?
It is.
They do have some history. It's been a while, so I think it's going to be a pretty good crowd. And the fact that they got a game up here, I think they're going to be supportive. So I feel like the Pistons are going to have to grind one out down there. I don't see them winning both. They're going to have to squeak one out, grind one out, and then come back and win game 5.
Yeah.
Game 5. Yep, right. Yeah. And then either maybe go get the game 6 or 7. But I think it's going to be, this series isn't over for a long way.
Sean Windsor, you're the man. We appreciate you getting up with us this morning. Thank you.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
All right, we'll talk again soon. Meanwhile, here's Cade Cunningham on getting that home playoff win.
It was great. One of many for this playoff run. But it was great to get that off our backs. They brought a lot of energy to us all year. And, to get them a win finally at the crib feels good. So, we're going to need more energy. It's a long run for us, so we need more of it.
Long run, but
they know it.
Good to get that home playoff win out from under their chest, and away you go.
And if we can steal one in Orlando,
I know.
We get home court again.
Here he is on his health, too.
I'm just grateful to be here, grateful to be back. Grateful to, be back feeling the way I feel right now whenever my team needs me and stuff. So, all glory to God for sure. And, I just want to continue to go and represent.
Feeling good.
That's great. That's always good to hear.
Coming back from a collapsed lung. It's pretty good. All right, we'll get you caught up on the headlines. Also, what's going on with the markets? It's next.
It's Ryan Armani with Eric from Paramount Roofing. When you hear 5-star experience, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means communicating exactly what we are doing to your home, having respect for your home, delivering the best quality material, crew, and the one we take pride in, satisfaction guaranteed. At Paramount Roofing, we bring the 5-star experience to every roofing project with no deposit required.
Get a 5-star roofing experience with Paramount and get 5 years, 0% interest financing at weareroofing.com. That's weareroofing.com.
When you get a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, things get real.
And the Parkinson's Foundation has real answers. Go to parkinson.org or call our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO.
Your morning is busy, so we'll keep it brief. Upgrade your routine with WJR's 5 Things First Thing. JR Morning with Chris, Lloyd, and Jamie break down the top 5 stories in just 5 minutes. Delivered straight to your device. Start your day by hitting play. Subscribe today on the always free WJR app.
Hey there, JR listeners. Chris Alberta from Principium. Look, I have an urgent message for you today about your retirement. I don't care if you already retired, you're a few months away, or you're a few years away. You're going to be unemployed soon. And you probably don't have a pension because you are your pension. Recent all-time highs in the market. Look, you're at the top of the mountain. And now we're in an Iranian conflict. AI might replace your job. And like it or not, you could be retired as long as you were working. But despite all that, it's the best time I have ever seen in my career to build you a retirement plan. The fixed rates are unbelievably good. Income models are killing it. You combine that with top-notch market management, and you're going to win. If you wait, you will lose. These rates will go down. You remember the 4% rule? My clients are using the 7% rule. They'll always have a paycheck, and that's freedom. Don't wait. Call me now, 888-800-8949. Call me, Chris Alberta, 888-800-8949.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Lawmakers in the Senate passed a budget plan for ICE and Border Patrol early this morning.
This vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 48, and the concurrent resolution, as amended, is agreed to.
The bill passing over stiff resistance from Democrats and now goes to the House. This is a move to reopen the Department of Homeland Security. Remember, it's been shut down since mid-February. President Trump plays the role of timekeeper, saying there's no rush to end the military action against Iran, and the U.S. naval blockade remains in place, with the president telling Fox he wants a good deal for the American people.
The fact that they cannot send a unified message yet, which is why the president decided to extend the ceasefire, just shows how effective Operation Epic Fury truly was.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on Fox is the story. And the White House in talks with a $500 million lifeline to budget airline Spirit. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Still have a crash on the eastbound M14 off-ramp to Sheldon Road. It's taking up the right shoulder. Westbound 94 at Van Dyke in Detroit, crash taking up the left lane. Traffic slow from Outer Drive. In Northville, Center Street closed between 7 Mile and Fairbrook. That's due to a broken water main. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Lombardo Apartments. Looking for luxury living without the stairs? Welcome to Everly of Macomb. Beautiful ranch-style luxury apartments designed for comfort, convenience, and style. Visit everlyofmacomb.com for more information on their specials, including 1 month free rent on a new lease. Lots of sunshine today, a high of 73. Right now, it's 52. A few clouds overnight with a low of 50. Overcast tomorrow, high of 75. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR, Traffic and Weather First.
It just seems like everything's more expensive these days, and it's hitting you hard. And when you're forced to make tough choices like keeping the lights on or the heat on, it should never be one of them. Consumers Energy is stepping up, giving back $5 million in assistance agencies and supporting efforts to increase assistance dollars for families in need by 50%. And with personalized energy savings programs, you can actually take the steps to start reducing your energy bills today. So count on Consumers Energy for that support. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/help.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
What are the chances you are listening to this while drinking a nice hot cup of coffee? If so, don't let me stop you. For years, we've been reporting on the health benefits of coffee, and that's not going to stop today. A new study, this one out of Harvard School of Public Health, found that coffee and tea could help lower your risk of developing dementia. People who enjoyed 1 to 3 caffeinated cups a day saw the biggest impact. In addition to the caffeine, coffee contains hundreds of bioactive compounds that can influence inflammation, glucose metabolism, vascular function, and oxidative stress. It's also possible coffee drinkers might be doing other things that keep them healthy. Eating a more balanced diet, getting plenty of exercise, sleep, not smoking, or drinking too much alcohol. And finally, staying socially active. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
This is the highlight of my morning. Hey, what's up? It's Island.
And I'm Josh.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit is that it's our go-to morning comfort.
You've got that nice golden fluffy egg.
With a soft, flaky biscuit.
Crispy bacon.
Melty cheese.
You want something quick, you want something convenient, but most of all, you want something good.
There's no better way to start your morning.
There we go.
Start off the morning with a Chick-fil-A Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit with Simply Orange Juice. Order on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their test.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
The Novi Home and Garden Show returns April 24th through 26th to the Vibe Credit Union Showplace.
Meet hundreds of experts, get thousands of ideas, and save big with special show-only pricing.
Step inside a spring oasis of beautiful landscapes, plant life, and water features.
Tour 8 homes in the Manufactured Home Showcase.
Shop local artisans and crafters in the Michigan Marketplace.
And learn from gardening experts on our tips and trend stage.
Join us April 24th through 26th.
Get discount tickets at novihomeshow.com.
Stay here for All Talk with Kevin Dietz at 9. Now back to JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
You know, we've seen the cost of oil on the roller coaster, but the markets have been steadily increasing. Yeah, it's been very interesting. All while the war in Iran is ongoing. Of course, we're in that ceasefire period now. But what's the reason for that? Chris Alberta joins us, the president of Principium Tactical Wealth Management. Christopher, good morning.
Hi, fellas. Good morning to you.
Good to have you back. Why do you think the markets are reacting the way that they are?
Because they're too excited about the future to stop and watch the news.
Oh,
I mean, the reality is,
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA is not going to stop being on the product that essentially is changing the world and everything in its downline and the data centers. And Eli Lilly's not going to stop making GLP-1s so everybody can lose 20 pounds and you know, take 10 years off their face. So, you know, even though the long-term outlook for the S&P 500 and the Dow, the long-term, the 5 and 10 is unpleasant to look at relative to past decades, the next couple of years, I mean, all these lights are basically green, barring a surprise like a pandemic or, you know, a war. But this thing, as it drags on, you know, the ceasefire here, and then, you know, they were lying about this, and now the tankers are being stopped. I mean, that was causing some real jagged edges for a minute. But now that everyone can see it's just going to go back and forth like that for a while, everything's all systems are go. It's pretty exciting to be in the market.
So when bad news doesn't move markets anymore, Chris, is that a sign of strength or is that a warning sign?
Well, Lloyd, that's a really good question because I have long contended that the politics don't really move the market for more than a minute, so to speak, in a relative sense.
Mm-hmm.
But oftentimes the narrative, especially the sentiment of the narrative around the news can. But the reality is there's been so much volatility in the news cycle and in the political news cycle for so long. I think the markets in general have just learned to ignore it. They don't care, frankly, what Trump said about this or that, or what potential bill may hit the floor. And consumers tend nowadays to follow big money. So if you're a consumer that's a do-it-yourselfer, let's say you got a Fidelity account or something, and you have kind of like one of these AI newsletter type things you subscribe to, a lot of that robotic trading isn't really going to give you a sell recommendation unless institutional big money is also moving out. So people have learned to just kind of stay the course, even though I hate that expression, and sit tight. And, you know, like everyone's reaping the benefits of this at the moment. I mean, the Dow's closing in on 50,000 again. Futures are down today. But it should be overall a pretty steady course over the next few weeks.
Well, and to your point, it felt like during the tariff era, right, when all those tariffs were being imposed, the markets were very reactionary. I mean, it felt like they were hanging on every word that was coming out of this administration, or to your point, what was being said on the news. It feels like in the span of a year now, we've really, the market has learned from that, and they're not as reactionary.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, and the Liberation Day thing, I mean, you look at what happened in the bond market. The bond market suffered. We're coming out of one of the worst bond markets in American history because the Fed had to take the Treasury so high to combat inflation coming out of the Biden era. Not that it was entirely his fault. I mean, you have a decade worth of borrowing and quantitative easing and so on and so forth. But the thing has been messy in general. I think what the market has just taught itself is to say, look, everyone's going to keep developing, evolving, and selling their stuff. And overall, we're not going to stop what we're doing. I mean, can you imagine if all big companies started just sitting there watching the news, biting their fingernails, going, hey, you guys, we should probably just go out of business. No one's going to do that. And that's what's happening is we're buying into those companies' evolution and into their growth. So it's good to ignore a lot of that stuff. And keep in mind, too, and I tell clients this all the time, most big market corrections. I mean, think about 08, think about 01. You had terrorism in 01, and you had the mortgage crisis that was underlying the implosion of 08. None of those things happened because of geopolitical circumstances. None of them even happened because of fundamental things that went wrong in the market. I mean, we're wildly overdue for a massive correction, like a real bad market. But it just keeps on going up. So it probably won't come from where we're looking. When we have the next one, it will be something to do with terrorism or a pandemic or, you name it. But it won't be the things that we're all looking at as markers of economic health.
And Chris, historically, we know that the conflict in the Middle East, rattles markets, but not this time so much. Now, I'm wondering, though, is America's energy independence kind of changing the rules of the game now?
Yeah, Lloyd, I think that's a good point. It could change it a lot more if we had the guts to just use our own oil and forget about all the tree hugging that has gone on that has made that nearly impossible. The fact is, oil could be $200 a barrel today, and it's not. It's just over 100. I mean, it sucks to go pay $5 a gallon for premium gas,
right,
which most cars nowadays are taking. But it could be far, far worse. And we know that that's not a forever problem. It's probably another few months until this, Strait of Hormuz things gets worked out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're right. I mean, you look at like my portfolios are all up.
Yeah.
Right. Everything
right.
continues to chug along.
Yeah.
So is that your message to your clients, is just stay the course?
It's largely stay the course. I mean, I think my money managers are very, very excited because every time new money comes in the door, there are so many beautiful places to layer it into where there's a tremendous opportunity for growth. I mean, I always give the baseball analogy, like a money manager's job is to swing the bat hard when there's a fastball over the plate. When you start getting wild pitches, you need to step away and just take a walk.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten a lot of fastballs over the plate over the last few years, despite the fact that the pitcher looked like a drunk, crazy lunatic who was like wobbling off the mound. So sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, but you have to swing the bat if you want to score runs. And that's what's been happening. So adjacent to that, though, is the people who are retiring are able to say, look, it's been such a good run that I can start pulling some of this money off the table, move it over into fixed instruments and dividend paying stocks, annuity, and really, really good bank yield and make 5.5%, 6% in perpetuity. So, I mean, you're not supposed to take all the chips off the table when you're at the bottom. You're supposed to start peeling them off when you're at the top. I mean,
Right.
This is like Casino 101.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. And you mentioned a lot of the AI, the chip makers, things like that. That's playing a huge role in the markets as well. Chris Alberta, always appreciate the time, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, good to talk with you. But I think that's the point, which is the markets are not like, this is not a pandemic.
No.
Like he mentioned.
No.
Or
terrorism.
terrorism, something that's going to drastically change the way people are investing their money.
That's right.
And so as a result, the markets are just chugging forward.
Yeah, no, and you got a lot of people who just feel like, hey, you only live once. This is a you only live once market, and we're just going to buy. They don't care. We're going to buy.
Yeah. Speaking of AI, corporate companies are using AI and there's a quantifiable impact to the success that they are having in terms of sales and money being brought in. How does that impact workers? We'll talk about that on the other side on JR Morning.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Hey friends, Meadowbrook Theater presents $1 Million Quartet. In an extraordinary twist of fate, Johnny, Jerry Lee, Carl, and me come together at Sun Records in Memphis for one of the greatest jam sessions ever, baby. With an electrifying score and a store filled with secrets, betrayal, and celebration. For tickets, call 248-377-3300. That's 248-377-3300. Or visit Ticketmaster.com. $1 Million Quartet, now through May 17th at Meadowbrook Theater. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at radiodirect.com/privacy. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text NICE to 797-979 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text NICE to 797-979 for a link to your exclusive offer. Text NICE to 797-979. That's NICE to 797-979.
These statements and products have not been evaluated or approved by the FDA for weight loss.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Quick story. I needed new glasses. And like many of you, I thought, well, I can go online. That's easy. But then I remembered the last time I did that, it wasn't easy. They didn't look good on me and they weren't cheap. So then what? You can't take them back to the store. It's the web. Then I remembered Direct Optical Optique. Many of you got your glasses there. You looked great and had a wonderful experience. And that's what I remembered, the experience. I remembered Mariana, Frame Stylist of the Year, and how great she and her staff were at helping me find the right frame at a good price. And that's all we want, right? And they have 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to the IKEA. Go see Mariana at Direct Optical Optique. She still knows everybody by name. 3 generations of loyal customers for a reason, because you get the attention you deserve. Direct Optical Optique in West Bloomfield and in Canton, and at OptiqueDetroit.com.
People can't have access to quality medical care without affordable health insurance. At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we understand increasing health insurance costs are becoming more of a strain on the budgets of the businesses and people we serve. Affordability matters. It affects real families, real decisions, and real care. That's why at Blue Cross, we're dedicated to finding solutions. To learn about this critical issue and our efforts to make healthcare affordable for all, visit mibluedaily.com/affordability today.
Hi friends, Bill Golling here, celebrating 60 years of the Golling Automotive Group with recent additions of the new Golling Chevrolet on Michigan Avenue in Wayne and the new Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Mack in Detroit. Now even more of you can see and experience the Golling difference. Those dealerships join Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram locations in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, and Roseville, Golling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham, Golling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Golling Toyota in Warren, Golling Kia in Madison Heights, or always at Golling.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Pro-Life Across America.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Please make a gift today. Visit prolifeacrossamerica.org.
The eastbound M14 off-ramp to Sheldon Road, a crash is off to the right shoulder. Westbound 94 at Van Dyke in Detroit, an accident in the left lane. Traffic stop and go from Outer Drive. Center Street closed in Northville between 7 Mile and Fairbrook. That's due to a broken water main. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Treetops Resort. Treetops' 5 distinguished courses mean every round lives up to its promise. Spectacular. Layer in the unlimited golf stay and play package, and the value becomes impossible to ignore. Quality, quantity, and consistency. Honestly, it's one of the best golf deals in Michigan. To book, call 888-TREETOPS. Here's your forecast.
Great looking day yesterday. We're going to tack on another one today before showers arrive midday into the afternoon tomorrow. Sunshine expected. A little cool early, 75 later tonight. Some clouds, 53, 40 suburbs. And a few showers around tomorrow. A little breezy, 75. Shower Saturday, sunshine, though, returning on Sunday. Highs in the mid-60s over the weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajik, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Make your weekend great with the Great Michigan Weekend. Jim Harper and Cam Carmen, Saturday mornings 8 to 10. Stream 760 WJR live on the WJR app or at WJR.com.
So there is a growing percentage of S&P 500 companies that are openly crediting artificial intelligence with real measurable business results. And it's not just hype. It's not just bluster. And interesting story out of Axios as an analysis of earnings calls. About 1/4 of S&P 500 firms reported at least one quantifiable impact from AI in the first quarter of this year. So they are actually reaping the benefits of this technology. What does this mean as the market shifts, and what does it mean for employees? Dr. Dave Skippers is the VP and Chief Academic Officer and Academic Dean at Walsh College and joins us this morning to talk about it. Doc, good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on.
So let's talk about how much of these companies' recent strengths or earnings potential are tied to the AI expectations, and what happens to these employees if we continue on this trajectory?
Yeah, those are great questions. I'll say, I think what's been happening over the last, year, I think as you've seen investments go into AI, naturally stakeholders and shareholders are going to be saying, hey, where is the tangible results for all this money that you're putting into this particular, technology and investment, and what is it doing for us? So all of them, I guess I shouldn't say all of them, many of them are saying if they haven't already started to see results, they're going to see those results within this year. So I would say there's clearly pressure, from stockholders to say, are you getting a return on your investment? Because that's really the big question right now.
We're hearing, Doc, that, workers are up to 20% more productive with AI, but are they benefiting from that, or are they just being asked to do more?
That's a great question. I'll say honestly, it could be a little bit of both, but here's some interesting insights I would say. So like, for instance, I tend to stay in tune with what KPMG is surveying and getting out of the executives that are leading the companies. And some of the shifts that are happening right now, which is kind of interesting in that, so over the next 2 years, 73% of the executives are saying, hey, we expect human beings to be the human in the loop that are actually directing AI agents in order to do work. All right. So that means fundamentally, some of the work is going to be shifted over to these quote AI agents or entities. Now, from a pay perspective, and it's kind of interesting. If you are a long-term and experienced worker in your industry, they're saying they have a 100% expectation that you have AI skills if you're going to get hired into their organization. Now, new hires, so entry level, they're saying they expect about 84% already have what they should have coming in with AI skills. So interestingly enough, with that, there is a correlation of these leaders are saying they're willing to compensate more if you actually have the AI skills that they need.
You know, I've been asking the question, well, what happens when these companies start to adopt this in mass? What happens to their general workforce, whether that's blue collar jobs or white collar jobs? And one of the things that I was talking with somebody about the other day was this idea of right now, artificial intelligence is largely being funded by investors, and they're a lot in trial phases. You get so many tokens to execute a certain particular task for your job, but at some point, those investors are going to want an ROI. They're going to want some money back, and so these companies that are building these platforms are going to have to start charging much more, if they're charging anything at all right now. And does that throw things out of whack then when it comes to, well, how much artificial intelligence are we able to utilize as opposed to how much of a salary we pay a particular employee or 10 employees, for example?
I've actually seen, I'll say interviews and stuff from some of the tech giant CEOs, and there's an interesting take that they have. Like, they are saying they are expecting to spend X amount in tokens by certain employees, like developers that are developing AI and things like this. So they view it as, okay, based off of the current market share and pricing, it makes more sense to offshore repeatable tasks and things like that over to AI so that it can do it more rapidly. Now, to comment on your question about if the pricing structure changes significantly, frankly, that is going to have impacts, right? Because that's going to impact the cost of how much you're going to be paying to use AI to actually accomplish the work. So, that's going to have to play out over time. So I'm certainly not going to be able to give that to you. I'll say I wish I had a magic ball to be able to answer that right now. But yeah, I mean, those are great questions.
Doc, I know you said you actually collaborate with your own AI twin. What does that mean? And how does that change how you work?
That's a really great question. And so it does, I'll say for me, I've actually continued to upscale the twins that I build. So I kind of try to enhance their capabilities over time. I use it within the actual domain industries that I operate to both challenge myself and to challenge it in order to have us both growing at the same time from a knowledge-based perspective. So now I do farm off certain tasks to it, like, hey, double check this, make sure this is accurate, are the assumptions here correct? So think of it as a collaborator. Like, I'm not letting it make decisions for me, but I'm having it fact check me, double check my calculations, my analysis, things like that, make sure I'm not missing any particular components. As human beings, we can get distracted and tired and things like that. So it's basically kind of a fact check. But at the same time, I'll say I use it to try to hone my skills and grow as I continue to try to build my knowledge base and go deeper and deeper. I'm using it specifically within I'll say I've done it so that when people say, what can you do with AI? How does this play out as far as working with an AI entity? That has been my motivation for about 2 years. I've been working with versions of them. So that I have kind of what I would say tangible knowledge of what you can do.
Well, and you don't have to buy your twin a Christmas present. So how about that? It all works out in the end.
Plus, right?
Dr. Dave Skippers, thank you so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you do the same. Coming up on the other side, 7 o'clock hour, we'll get you caught up on the headlines. Also, on the couch we go with Dr. Steve Craig. It's all coming up on JR Morning.
As the sounds, smells, and warmth of spring have finally arrived here in Michigan, so has the threat of those nasty spring storms. Many of us have gotten caught off guard with power outages that storms can leave behind. My friends at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical are here to help. There is no company I trust more because I know the family, I know the company, and I know none of their people work on commission. This year, be ready for Mother Nature with a reliable standby generator. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical offers generator installations, maintenance, and repairs. If your generator is not serviced by a certified technician, it will void the manufacturer's warranty. And if you don't receive maintenance after 200 hours of runtime, that can also void your warranty. The technicians at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical are Generac certified to keep your generator working. With locations in Garden City, Madison Heights, and White Lake, they've been serving Southeast Michigan for over 55 years. Visit FamilyHeating.com to schedule your free estimate today.
Sports Wrap Weeknights 6 to 7 with Anthony and Lomas on 760 WJR.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Takeback Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com. Mark Levin. Weeknights 9 to midnight on 760 WJR.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement savings to stock market risk? There are strategies you can use to keep your money safe no matter what happens in the stock market. Join us for Money Talks with Joseph Uplager, Saturdays at 5 p.m. right here on WJR 760.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
A vote in the Senate at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 48.
Approving a resolution that's a step toward ending a funding standoff for ICE and Border Patrol, which Democrats can't block as they keep demanding immigration enforcement reform.
This is a budget tool that allows Republicans to pass legislation with a simple majority, and overnight they unlock the first step of this lengthy process by approving a budget resolution. The measure sends $70 billion to ICE and CBP, funding the agencies through the rest of President Trump's term.
Fox's Madeline Rivera, the House has to consider it next. In Virginia, the day after voters approved congressional redistricting that could give Democrats 4 more House seats in the November elections, a judge blocks it,
deeming it as unconstitutional. And Democrats already vowing to fight back. Virginia's Democratic Attorney General Jay Jones writing, "My office will immediately file an appeal in the Court of Appeals. As I said last night, Virginia voters have spoken, and an activist judge should not have veto power over the people's vote."
It's day 10 of the U.S. military blockade around Iran's ports.
It's costing Iran's economy about $500 million a day. The White House says it's prepared to continue this blockade for as long as needed. President Trump tells Fox there is no rush and no time frame to end the war.
Fox's Brian Yanis in Tel Aviv.
CENTCOM says so far 31 ships have been turned away or blocked because of this blockade. And new this morning, we now know that 3 of those ships were Iranian oil tankers that were blocked in Asian waters thousands of miles away.
Wildfires keep scorching northern Florida, southern Georgia. More than 50 homes have burned down, 20,000 plus acres charred, and the biggest of the fires barely contained.
And the weather conditions are not working in our favor. It's going to be a hot, dry day. Temperatures are going to be in the mid 80s, and we're also looking at a little bit of wind.
Fox weather meteorologist Britta Merwin. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Still have that closure in Northville of Center Street between 7 Mile and Fairbrook. That's due to a broken water main. Westbound 94 at Van Dyke and Detroit. That accident has cleared. Traffic still slow from Outer Drive. Also delays on westbound 94 between Little Mac and 12 Mile. Now, WJR weather first. Friendly Weather Channel. Lots of sunshine today. A high of 73. Right now, it's 52. Few clouds overnight with a low of 50. Overcast tomorrow. High 75. I'm Renee Vitale. WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Explore food security through stories, strategies, and solutions that empower communities and inspire action. Hear thought leaders from across the state on Food Secure Nation with Dr. Phil Knight and Jerry Brisson. Sunday nights at 9 on 760 WJR. Sponsored by Know Better, Do Better.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. At Michigan Auto Law, awards are nice, but winning means more than trophies. We've secured more million-dollar auto accident settlements and verdicts than any other law firm in Michigan. But what really defines us is how we take care of people like Kristen Hunt.
Thanks to this amazing team, I was able to focus on healing while they took care of everything else. They truly care about their clients, and they delivered incredible results.
That's what winning really looks like. If you've been injured in a car accident, go to autolaw.com. We handle everything so you can focus on getting your life back. Michigan Auto Law. People over everything.
My name is Kamal Shohaib. I am the owner of Choice Properties and the Choice Group, and we do business in 5 states. We started dealing with Treon about 10 years ago, and they were highly recommended. We like to deal with companies that care about the community that they do business with, and we feel Treon does that because we witnessed the wonderful things that they do for the community on so many levels.
And that is why we rely on Treon.
You can always rely on Treon.
It's Ryan Armani with Eric from Paramount Roofing. When you hear 5-star experience, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means communicating exactly what we are doing to your home, having respect for your home, delivering the best quality material, crew, and the one we take pride in, satisfaction guaranteed. At Paramount Roofing, we bring the 5-star experience to every roofing project with no deposit required.
Get a 5-star roofing experience with Paramount and get 5 years, 0% interest financing at weareroofing.com. That's weareroofing.com.
It's another JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and streaming on WJR.com, where Michigan comes to talk.
Pistons get it right last night. They beat the Magic 98-83.
Yay!
Down at LCA. And boy, it was just good to see, especially in that third quarter. I mean, they were so dominant.
Let me tell you, it was 46-46 at halftime. And I don't know what JB said. I don't know what Cade said, but they just said, listen, stop playing. We're going to come out and just take the game over. And that's what they did.
It was much needed at that point.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It really was. And even when they came out of the half, they looked different.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The sets that they were running, a little crisper.
Yes.
Just the shots that they were getting off, a little better.
Mm-hmm.
And even some of the contested shots they got early in that third quarter looked really, they just looked good.
I just think, Orlando was kind of like almost like standing there like with their eyes wide open, like, what's happening right now? Because they got outshot like 38-16.
Yeah, it just exploded.
Yes,
in that third quarter. And obviously one of the, Cade getting in the 27, 27 points. He had 6 rebounds, 11 assists, so he was in that double range.
Mm-hmm.
But he just is very dominant. Whether he's got the ball, off the ball, he just knows how to space the floor really well.
He does.
And here's JB Bickerstaff on Cade.
I mean, he's him, and he understands that, right? Like, to have the size, agility, touch, speed, patience that he has. I mean, he's a matchup nightmare for people. That takes multiple bodies to stop him. And then even that, because he can get to a spot and shoot his midi, it's hard to get to him. So, he's embraced the moment, and he's leading us the way he needs to.
And the other thing, like Asar Thompson, for example, is up for Defensive Player of the Year, right? And rightfully so. I mean, he has been unbelievable this year on the defensive side of the floor. But this is kind of what this team is about. They're all about defense, according to the coach.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's Pistons basketball, and that's what it looks like. Like I said, we have one off night just to happen to come at a bad time. But I know what our guys are, and we trusted that they were going to come back tonight. Be the best version of themselves at some point.
Pistons have always been defense. I mean, even if you go all the way back to the, 88, 89 Pistons, Chuck Daly Pistons, Isaiah Thomas Pistons, defense was a big deal. When we got to the going to work Pistons, Rip and Ben and all of those guys, defense was a big deal. And I think that's what we do.
Yeah, and you've talked a lot about all year the bench play.
Yeah.
Right? They have been really, really good, especially when Cade was out for a couple of weeks, things like that. They've come off the bench and played really well. Isaiah Stewart yesterday had 10 points off the bench, and he talked about how deep this team is.
We truly believe we have the best bench unit in the league.
And, that's the belief we play with. So, I thought we did a great job of, doing our job tonight, coming in and, help propelling us forward. And, we got to continue to do that, and just build off of it.
I mean, they've been consistent, the whole season. And even when Kate was out, they were still consistent. They were still winning. So I just wasn't afraid, after
No.
that first loss, in the playoffs. It just wasn't. I knew they would come back. And so now we just got to get one in Orlando. We got to steal at least one in Orlando.
Yeah, it's also this idea of bench players in the NBA. It's different because some of your guys are not just there to score points off the bench. They're there for defense. They're there for rebounds. The points don't always necessarily correlate to the job that they do.
Right.
And like Javonte Green, for example, played 23 minutes last night off the bench, right? Didn't score he had 2 points.
Yep, that's it.
But he is just that other anchor coming off the bench.
Yeah.
That's what you need sometimes. You're not looking for him to
Sometimes
score
it's not
15.
That's right.
And so that's what this team does really well. Like, they know their role. And it was good to see them last night tie this series up 1-1. Now we go to Orlando for a 1:00 tip on Saturday. And I believe, hold on, let me just double check. Peacock and NBC Sports Network is where that game will be available.
Okay. Peacock and NBC Sports Network. So not
So
NBC.
If you've
NBC.
got a cable provider, make sure that guide button is working so you can find NBC Sports Network.
Oh my goodness.
Also, Tigers won yesterday. Nice to see.
Yes.
They've got the rubber match today against Milwaukee down at Comerica Park. 110 first pitch. They win 5-2. Spencer Torkelson hits his first home run of the year. Nice to see Torque get a little power off the plate. Also, the NFL draft is tonight.
What do you think?
Round
the line?
1.
What do they do?
I think they go offensive line.
O-line as opposed to D-line?
I think, it's somebody in the trenches is my guess.
Okay.
I mean, again, you lose a couple of guys along the line. This team performs better when they've got a protection for Jared Goff.
You better believe it.
And so
100%.
Number one needs to be protecting Jared Goff. Get yourself the best offensive lineman available.
Yeah.
And go.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at on the Lions draft tonight.
A unanimous U.S. Supreme Court has ruled in favor of Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel in a long-running dispute over the Line 5 pipeline beneath the Straits of Mackinac. The justices determined that Enbridge Energy waited too long to move the case from state court to federal court, rejecting the company's argument that the delay should be allowed. The decision means Nessel's 2019 lawsuit seeking to shut down the pipeline can now proceed in Michigan state court. The ruling does not decide whether Line 5 can continue operating, but it revives a years-old legal fight over environmental risk and the validity of a decades-old easement. Nessel called the decision a major step forward in protecting the Great Lakes, while Enbridge maintains the pipeline is safe and says the broader legal battle is far from over.
It just keeps on going.
Doesn't it, though?
We keep on with
Take a licking and keep on ticking, right?
That's exactly right. 7:12, time for WJR's Business Beat, brought to you by Shelving.com. We rack your world. Here's Jeff Sloan, the founder and CEO of Startup Nation, to spotlight the entrepreneurial tech and startup community on WJR.
Good morning. You know what is simply maddening these days? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I simply can't deal with the number of spam calls I'm receiving every day. It interrupts my day, fills up my voicemail box, et cetera, et cetera. You know the drill. I've tried to curtail them, but nothing really seems to work. It seems like the spammers are always one step ahead of whatever defense you try to put up to block them. And now new data from a survey just released by Truecaller entitled the 2026 Phone Fraud and AI Threat Survey puts into perspective just how bothersome these calls are. First, of the individuals polled, 75% say they've been targeted by a spam call or text in the past 12 months. How are consumers handling these calls? Well, 82% say they simply ignore calls that appear to be from unknown callers. And that means that in some meaningful number of cases, they're missing important calls that are not fraud or spam in nature, and they needed to otherwise have been answered. That's up from 59% in 2024. Now, this avoidance could lead to outcomes like professional consequences for the 33% who say calls and texts are very or critically important to their work and they run the risk of missing some. Clayton LeBroton, Senior Executive Advisor at TrueColor, said in a statement released with the survey results, people are no longer just screening spam, they're screening out real life, he says. When people miss calls from doctors, schools, clients, and family members because they can't tell what's real, this stops being a nuisance and becomes a real, true trust crisis. Lastly, what type of scams are consumers seeing? They responded to the surveys indicating that they're seeing a lot of calls, 45% spam calls relating to package delivery fraud, 42% to credit card fraud, 36% online shopping scams, 32% medical healthcare fraud, 31% job recruitment scams, and 19% student loan scams. LeBroton concludes that this is a full-blown communication paralysis crisis where millions of people are so afraid of being scammed that they've stopped answering their phones altogether. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, and that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
Looking to get organized? Turn to shelving.com for storage solutions built around you, from wire shelving to full Unirack pallet racking systems. Their team designed turnkey facilities to meet your needs. Explore their products online today.
Shelving.com, we rack your world.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications that top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hi, everyone. Super Bowl champ Vernon Davis here from Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You can find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, Vernon. You heard it, folks. If you've been injured, call and find out how much you qualify for. Call 800-750-2700.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Plumbers, today will be a good day. You will be profitable. Your clients will be nice. No one will stand over you and tell you how to fix the thing they actually hired you to fix. You will also feel at peace after switching to Progressive, America's #1 commercial auto insurer. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, #1 commercial auto insurer from the NAIC's 2024 National Premium Data.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Winegard's, everything from lawn to snow.
Hi, I'm Dan Weingartz. When it comes to outdoor power equipment, you're never on your own. Since 1945, our customers and communities have trusted Weingartz for expert advice. That's why we stand behind Exmark mowers, built for professionals and trusted by homeowners who take pride in their lawn. Exmark is known for delivering exceptional cut quality and consistent results. With powerful engines, advanced cutting technology, and legendary build quality, Exmark mowers give you a cleaner, more even cut every time. It's the kind of performance and reliability that helps you get more done and leaves your lawn looking its best after every mow.
At Winegard's.
From equipment, parts, repairs, and at-home service, we're here every step of the way. Stop by our stores where our experts can help you choose the right Exmark zero-turn mower for your lawn, or visit us online at Weingarts.com during our anniversary event going on now. Expert solutions, honest value, easy ownership. That's the Weingarts way.
Winegard's, everything from lawn to snow.
Spring is here, and so are the savings at Clarkston Window and Door. This month, get 37% off installed replacement windows, plus 0% financing for 15 months. You heard that right, 37% off, 0% financing for 15 months. And Clarkston is even giving you free exterior color on top of all that. Call Clarkston Window and Door today or visit us online.
We sell, we install, that's right, we do it all. Clarkston Window and Door.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Batteries Plus. Power your ride with Batteries Plus. Motorcycles to boats, ATVs to side-by-sides. Whatever you ride, Batteries Plus has the battery for it. Power all your outdoor adventures with help from the experts in charge. Stop by your local Batteries Plus today.
In Northville, we have that closure of Center Street between 7 Mile and Fairbrook. That's due to a broken water main. Eastbound 94 at E-Course, an accident's off to the left shoulder. Traffic's backed up to Merriman. Also slow travel on westbound 94 between Little Mac and 12 Mile. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by University of Michigan's Michigan Creative. Support for Michigan Public comes from the University of Michigan's Look to Michigan campaign, dedicated to expanding the boundaries of knowledge, translating research into real-world impact, and delivering solutions to challenging problems. Learn more at umich.edu/look. Here's your forecast.
All right, been on a pretty good roll of late, and we'll keep it going today. Sunshine around, a little cool to start, but a beautiful 75 later. Near 50 tonight or just above. Suburbs will be below 50. A few showers tomorrow out ahead of the next front coming in. Late morning into the afternoon, not a washout though. Near 75. A little cooler over the weekend. Showers Saturday, 65. Sunny Sunday, 65. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajek, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Hi, it's Paul W. Smith. Join us Thursday, noon to 2. Loomis Brown takes on the draft and what he thinks the Lions need to do. It's on WJR, AM 760, or always on WJR.com. And, of course, the free WJR app. Thursday, noon to 2, Paul W. Smith in Focus.
All right, 7:19 here on a Thursday. That means we get a pop in from the good doctor, Dr. Steve Craig from Craig Consulting Group and Craig Counseling Services. Doc, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Let's get busy. I'm sick of hearing your stories. Right.
I know.
Please, right. Chris
You
is here.
asked.
That's right.
And one more. I have another one. Okay,
Doc's on the couch.
He's like, tell me something interesting. And he's like,
Okay,
Uncle, stop.
I was just being nice. Dr. Steve, my mother always told me to just walk away and turn the other cheek when I was mad. And I've spent many years in my marriage always being the one who just turned and walked away rather than getting in an ugly fight with my husband. But our kids are out of the house now, and I want to do more things with my friends every once in a while, like go away on a girls' weekend or even just out on a Friday night dancing or hanging out with my friends. But my husband is furious with me and is completely against it. He says some of them are divorced and says they will be looking for men and that will just be out hooking up with men. And then he tells me straight to my face that he doesn't trust me, even though I've never done anything like that. So that's another big argument that I don't want, but I'm so tired of just turning the other cheek. And if I do, I'll just end up sitting at home and not going out with my friends. How do I get my husband to understand this and be okay with it when talking about it just causes a horrible fight? And how do I get him to trust me when I've done nothing to make him not trust me? Aren't these his issues, not mine? Why do I have to give up my fun just because he has unwarranted trust issues?
Yeah. It sounds more like a him issue than a her issue. It sounds like I don't know, maybe he had some baggage in the past or something like that, and he's taking it on her. Because if you can't prove yourself out of a situation like that with someone, and you haven't done anything wrong. You haven't done anything. You haven't given him an inkling to think that he should not trust you. And the kids are gone, and she wants to be with her girlfriend. Sometimes she wants some outside.
But these are his issues, but he's not dealing with them. So she's saying she's running into a brick wall there.
Well, to me, I would just say, listen, honey, listen, honey, I'm going to go out with my friends. I'm going to spend some time with my friends, but that doesn't change the way I feel about our marriage. It's not going to affect our marriage. I just want to have some me time with my friends and have a good time. And he might not like it, but it is what it is.
So this is funny because I tell people all the time.
Is this another story?
A little bit.
Oh, jeez.
Yay! I tell people a lot. I go, I don't know. I'm probably messing my kids up somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be a good dad.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll end up on a couch someday talking to somebody about how Dad, it did this and it messed me up. And
Oh, yeah.
All right, Joe. Joe Jackson.
yeah.
Can you look into your crystal ball there?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Mom gave some bad advice here, though.
Okay.
Initially.
Okay.
Which was, my mom just said, walk away. If you get angry, just walk away, because then you're not actually addressing what the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
And so it feels like that has bled over into now her relationship with her husband. When the kids are in the house, it's a completely different story. You're in the rat race. You're doing a million different things at once. And so you might not be actually addressing something that might be problematic with your relationship, which in this case is there's a jealousy problem here. The husband doesn't want you to go out with your friends because some of them are divorced and they're going to be on the prowl. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like the advice that Mom gave a long time ago, which is to just turn around, don't deal with it, push it all the way down, doesn't work. It feels like there needs to be a conversation with the husband and trying to find a way to ease any fears that he may have. Look, I'm happy to call you. I'm happy to text you. I'm happy to update you with what's going on. And then on the other side, the husband needs to be okay with that too, because you can't just be a shut-in. You can't just spend all your time with your spouse. You need to have another life outside of that. And so I think that's kind of where my read is.
So maybe you're not messing up the kids so bad after all.
Well,
I was
time will tell.
Trying to throw you a bone there. But I agree with you. So I thought that was really good. So clearly this is the guy's issue.
Yeah.
But there's a whole other thing going on here that is sometimes it's controversial when I say it, but it has to be said. This woman is upset because he doesn't trust her, but in so many ways she's not trustworthy. Not because she's out doing whatever bad thing, but if you don't stand up for your convictions, if you won't argue with me and stand your ground with what's important to you, how do I know when you're out in the world that you'll stand up out there? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trustworthiness isn't built by not doing something suspicious. It's by arguing and standing for your convictions. If you'll fight with me and say, nope, this is what's important to me and I'm not going to give in, then when you're out in an uncomfortable situation out in a bar or whatever, then I know you will stand your ground. I need you to show me that it's built by standing on your convictions, not by not being suspicious. So if anyone who is always going to fight with me, this happens in work all the time.
Yeah.
If you will argue your point, if I'm the boss, but you know what, you will argue with me and say, but this is why it's important. And I heard what you said, but this is why I want to do this. Then I know I'll put you in front of a client because you'll fight for our cause. Because I know that you will fight for what's important. And so many people get that advice of, you don't want to have fights, make nice. But what they end up doing is sacrificing. People end up, their spouse doesn't respect them in the long run. They end up not standing for anything. So there's a whole lot of people who took this sort of advice of don't fight.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, they end up sleeping well at night when they have an argument, but they lost all these other things.
Yeah, because they don't want to be uncomfortable in a fight for 48 hours or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, this is again my point. But if you won't be uncomfortable if you'll give in when you're uncomfortable with me, how do I know you're not going to give in with you have a couple drinks in you and some guy's working you? It's uncomfortable there. Yeah. That's the problem.
Well, if I argue with you and stand my ground and say, hey, this is what I want to argue with you, how does that fix his fear? He may say, if you're arguing with me so much like that, you must want to go out and do something.
Right. Right. But through the years, I'm really talking about history. Is through the years you have to establish in every relationship that you have certain things that you stand for, and you will argue and you will stand your ground for those because that's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
So that later on, when we get to ones like this, where I just want to go to Applebee's with my girlfriends, I shouldn't have to defend it. I shouldn't have to prove that I'm trustworthy because I have already.
Right. In this case, when the woman says, I'm so tired of turning the other cheek, and it's like, well, that's all you've done.
That's all you've done.
So you've created your foundation is just turning the other cheek, and now you're exhausted by it.
That cheek is very red.
Right. And but again, there's a whole lot. There's his issues and things too.
Sure.
But you just have to we have to make the point that you have to stand your ground or you lose so much.
Dr. Steve Craig, another great one. Thanks for coming by again this morning. Appreciate it. 7:30 more coming up next on JR Morning.
Life is beautiful and fragile. We fall. We get tired. And sometimes we get sick. But with Corewell Health, We are also strong. We fight disease. We battle cancer. We come together. We come back. We push forward. When the body breaks, we break through. Corewell Health. We can.
People can't have access to quality medical care without affordable health insurance. At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we understand increasing health insurance costs are becoming more of a strain on the budgets of the businesses and people we serve. Affordability matters. It affects real families, real decisions, and real care. That's why at Blue Cross, we're dedicated to finding solutions. To learn about this critical issue and our efforts to make healthcare affordable for all, visit mibluedaily.com/affordability today.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. President Trump tells Fox there's no rush to make a peace deal with Iran as we enter day 10 of the U.S. naval blockade.
CENTCOM says so far 31 ships have been turned away or blocked. Now, in response, Iranian state TV has released new videos showing IRGC fast attack boats firing on 3 international cargo ships. The White House says these seizures do not violate the ceasefire.
Fox's Brian Yanis in Tel Aviv. Senate Republicans pushing past Democrats to advance funding for ICE and Border Patrol after a late-night voting marathon.
The measure sends $70 billion to ICE and CBP, funding the agencies through the rest of President Trump's term. Democrats held several amendment votes to put Republicans on the record on affordability and other domestic economic issues, all failed along party lines.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. The measure now heads to the House. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
It's Car Care Month, and Summit Racing has what you need for bumper-to-bumper care. Revive the interior, exterior, underhood, and more. Shop SummitRacing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 3rd, 2026.
Center Street remains closed this morning in Northville between 7 Mile and Fairbrook. That's due to a broken water main. Eastbound 94 at E-Course. Accident there's just clear. Traffic slow from Merriman. Also delays on westbound 94 between Little Mac and 12 Mile. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Lombardo Apartments. Looking for luxury living without the stairs? Welcome to Everly of Macomb. Beautiful ranch-style luxury apartments designed for comfort, convenience, and style. Visit everlyofmacomb.com for more information on their specials, including 1 month free rent on a new lease. Lots of sunshine today, a high of 73. Right now, it's 52. Few clouds overnight with a low of 50. Overcast tomorrow, high of 75. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Join us for a thrilling night of action at the annual Fight Night event on April 29th. Don't miss out on the adrenaline-pumping experience at the Palazzo Grande. Experience the thrill of the ring at Thrilla Gives annual Fight Night event on April 29th. Tickets are flying off the shelves, so purchase yours today.
Gardner White's Spring Savings Event is on now, and you can save 25%. Find exceptional deals on Lazy Boy Comfort, quality power reclining sofas from FlexSteel, the Drew and Jonathan collection, flexible, comfortable, and built to last, and many more of the top-rated furniture brands, including the latest new arrivals. Smart financing and free same-day delivery make this the perfect season for a fresh start at home. Gardner White's Spring Savings Event, now through April 29th.
Faulty electrical can be dangerous. Call Lighthouse Electrical for a free 30-point home inspection, plus knock off $200 on any service upgrade. Call Lighthouse Electrical at 888-915-4448. Keep your home powered with Lighthouse.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Wine guards, everything from lawn to snow.
Hi, I'm Dan Weingartz. When it comes to outdoor power equipment, you're never on your own. Since 1945, our customers and communities have trusted Weingartz for expert advice. That's why we stand behind Exmark mowers, built for professionals and trusted by homeowners who take pride in their lawn. Exmark is known for delivering exceptional cut quality and consistent results. With powerful engines, advanced cutting technology, and legendary build quality, Exmark mowers give you a cleaner, more even cut every time. It's the kind of performance and reliability that helps you get more done and leaves your lawn looking its best after every mow.
At Weingartz.
From equipment, parts, repairs, and at-home service, we're here every step of the way. Stop by our stores where our experts can help you choose the right Exmark zero-turn mower for your lawn, or visit us online at Weingartz.com during our anniversary event going on now. Expert solutions, honest value, easy ownership. That's the Weingartz way.
Weingartz, everything from lawn to snow.
Paul W. Smith can be found on Focus from noon to 2 p.m. on 760 WJR. Now back to JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
Well, you know, I'm constantly looking towards the midterms, and I know it's April. I get it. I get it.
Still got to keep an eye.
But I am so fascinated by this process, and really you're really never out of a cycle. You're always in a cycle.
Always.
Especially with the House congressional representatives. They're up every 2 years. And
yeah.
So they are also always in a cycle, always fundraising, always meeting with the community. Well, a new Fox News poll shows there is in widespread economic pessimism. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah.
It's probably a diplomatic way to put it among voters. And that's creating a really tough hill to climb for Republicans going into November. 3/4 of voters almost rate the economy negatively. 73%, 70% say the economic conditions are getting worse. That's not necessarily what Wall Street's telling us.
No.
But what are people citing? Well, they're citing the cost of gas, the cost of groceries are all
just
still
inflation. Yeah.
too high.
Yeah.
And that is playing a role into Donald Trump's ratings as well. 56% of voters saying that his policies are directly hurting the economy, with just 28% say they're actually helping. And then, of course, the war in Iran. All of these things are playing a role. Eben Brown, the Fox News reporter and WJR contributor, joins us this morning to talk about it. Eben, good morning to you.
Morning.
This is probably music to the ears for Democrats on the ballot this year.
Well, it certainly would be, because it's something that they can try to capitalize on when they try to win just a few seats in the House, and they could end up with a majority. And so that may be coupled with this potential new congressional district map in Virginia might give them what they need to take back power in the House of Representatives, and that will alter the remaining 2 years of Donald Trump's time in the White House. So that's something that they're probably going to capitalize on in their marketing going forward, their campaigning, their messaging, whatever the term is you want to use. Republicans will need to counter on that. As you alluded to, our Fox News poll here, for your family, it feels like the economy is getting worse. 70% of people say, as opposed to 26% people saying it getting better. And only 4% of people saying it feels like it's staying the same. And that's not a good position to be in. Now, obviously, I think if everyone knows at this point that the historical pattern is that the party in power usually loses in the midterms.
Yeah.
In terms of the House, and that often kind of holds up. I remember the first midterm for President Obama. His party, the Democrats, lost the Congress, and he said he took their very famous line, "I took a shellacking," and that may hold true here yet again. We shouldn't really be surprised, I think, in terms of patterns. The question is, what happens if Democrats do take control of the House? Do they do what they should do in terms of being good American statesmen, and that is, do they argue their points to push back on what they don't like from the president and try to come up with a consensus in legislation, or do they use the opportunity to jam up President Trump and keep him in locked up in hearings and potential impeachments?
Evan, a lot of these polls show that independents are drifting away. How critical is that group in shaping what happens in November?
Well, considering that no one can win an election without the vote of the independents, the people who are not registered with a party, then I would say it's pretty important. You need to win over people outside of your party voters. I think Republicans have an extra problem because where Democrats historically are very good at staying party loyal, Republicans are not. There are always contingents of Republican voters that don't like a nominee and perhaps just don't vote that day because they don't like the nominee. We used to call them never Trumpers. We're now calling them, I guess, non-MAGA Republicans. I would say that the Republicans have perhaps their best showing among non-MAGA Republicans that they've had in a while. It's a 59-41 split. Whereas, let's say if we were in, say, 2018, the never Trumpers still had a good majority of them would not show up to vote in favor of anything that would help Donald Trump in any way.
Obviously, people are worried about their pocketbook issues, right? The cost of their everyday expenses and whether or not you can get a new car or afford to move, things like that. Those are all playing a role into people's financial situations. But how much of an impact do you think somebody like Tucker Carlson has coming out and saying, well, I regret helping Donald Trump get elected here? Does that play a role, do you think?
I think for the terminally online, someone of that nature probably feels influential. I think for the people that don't live their lives with their hands scrolling feeds all day long, I don't think they even remember who he is.
Yeah, fair enough.
And also,
I'd like to forget him personally. So
right.
What about the Iran situation? How much is that situation weighing on the public opinion right now? I mean, does foreign policy really conflict typically move more voters?
I don't think people are generally upset over the war. I think they're more upset over some of the impacts, and that happens to be gas prices.
Yes.
Okay. Gas prices are high. They're not as high as they once were during the initial run of the Biden administration. And what's also noteworthy here is that the other things that we have to spend money on, those prices did not jump with the jump in the price of gas. Remember, we considered at one point the biggest economic indicator was the price of a dozen eggs.
Right.
Those haven't gone up, at least not the way they were going up anyway. So I think people notice that the gas is higher. Whether or not they understand the economics behind it, the gas isn't higher because we have a shortage of gas. It's because the rest of the world is experiencing a shortage of it, and they're trying to buy ours,
right,
to put the pressure on it. But we actually have plenty domestically. We're not going to run out. And so I think that has led to, producers saying, all right, we can endure this a little bit more to keep people happy. Now, of course, we were all told that we could have this Iran war wrapped up in a couple of weeks. We're going into the 7th week now, or I guess maybe the 8th week even. And it's not wrapped up yet. I think it'll probably end sooner than what people will think. But as of now, that price is that's affecting the price of gas because of the Strait of Hormuz. There will be a time in the future where Venezuela's pumping comes back to full capacity, and Iran's will under hopefully a free and fair government there. And that means they can be both completely relieved of sanctions and sell their oil on the open market. And when that happens, the price of petroleum will drop like a rock because it will increase supply. So that's something off in the future. It's just not right now. And, it costs me twice as much to fill up my own car. So I feel it.
Evan Brown, good to catch up. Thank you, my friend. We'll talk again soon.
You bet.
Yeah, you got it. Meanwhile, the Trump administration nearing a rescue package for Spirit Airlines to the tune of $500 million. And this is because Spirit is facing financial pressure, jet fuel going up, there's a weak demand, and now they've got cash flow problems, according to the Wall Street Journal. But this is essentially a bailout.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And remember, you go back to when the autos were in a real tight spot and they were bailed out, Republicans were livid about it.
Well, the airlines were bailed out during the pandemic too, though.
Yes, but I guess my question is do you have the same energy for a Spirit Airlines? Now, if you do, it's hard for me to fight you on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because now you've got the government helping, again, a private company. I understand where people might have a problem with it, but also what you're going to do is you're going to eliminate the cheapest option to fly.
Yes.
For people that can't necessarily get on some of these other airlines. All I'm saying is that would be problematic too.
Yeah. That's a point right there.
Something to continue to watch, certainly. Coming up on the other side, the Pistons with a big win. We'll talk about it next.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Plumbers, today will be a good day. You will be profitable. Your clients will be nice. No one will stand over you and tell you how to fix the thing they actually hired you to fix. You will also feel at peace after switching to Progressive, America's #1 commercial auto insurer. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, #1 commercial auto insurer from the NAIC's 2024 National Premium Data.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Here's Ryan Goldberg, President and CEO of DFCU Financial.
At DFCU, our credit union is all about our members and the community. We're not just focused on numbers and metrics, but we are focused on doing the right thing for our communities. That's why we pay back earnings to our members through a very popular cashback program.
How about small business owners? How do they benefit from being with DFCU?
Our business and commercial banking teams bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise to benefit you. By understanding your unique financial needs, our team can deliver tailored lending solutions, deposit, and treasury management. Working with DFCU means you'll have access to decision makers and benefit from speed to market. We're in a strong liquidity position, and that means we have money to lend and the willingness to lend it. Business lenders often have a box that customers must fit into. We don't work that way.
Some restrictions apply. Visit DFCUfinancial.com for details. DFCU Financial is an equal housing lender, federally insured by NCUA.
Spring into a pain-free life at the Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and Bad Axe. Hi, it's Paul W. Smith. Thousands of people, like, well, Kim and me, are happier and healthier since our chronic back, neck, and knee pain are gone. Thanks to Dr. Saul Kogan. His gentle, relaxing, non-surgical, non-invasive intradisc neutrosis and knee restore RX treatments stimulate the body's self-repair healing process. If you have spinal stenosis, herniated, bulging, or degenerative discs, sciatica pain, or numbness, tingling, or burning in your hands, arms, or legs, there is help. When you mention WJR in April, you'll get a consultation, examination, X-ray or MRI review, and a laser treatment for just $49 for your first visit at the Nerve and Disc Institute. Want to avoid surgery? Call 586-416-DISC, 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472, 586-416-3472. Mention WJR. Call now.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. Get 10% off new Catalyst fencing solutions when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a select DeWalt miter saw. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Westbound 696 before Van Dyke, an accident is taking up the left center lane. Traffic slow from Groesbeck. Center Street, Northville closed between 7 Mile and Fairbrook due to a broken water main. And a heads up on upcoming construction. Northbound 75 will close between the Jeffries and the Lodge beginning tomorrow night at 9 o'clock until Monday at 5 a.m. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Treetops Resort. Treetops' 5 distinguished courses mean every round lives up to its promise. Spectacular. Layer in the unlimited golf stay and play package, and the value becomes impossible to ignore. Quality, quantity, and consistency. Honestly, it's one of the best golf deals in Michigan. To book, call 888-TREETOPS. Here's your forecast.
Absolutely beautiful Thursday. Change coming on Friday, but a decent weekend coming up. Sunshine around today. A little cool to start, 75 later. Tonight will fall back to about 53. And the moon will hide behind the clouds just a bit at times. And tomorrow, a few showers, mainly after lunchtime, 75. And then some showers early Saturday. Most of Saturday turns out pretty nice and partly sunny. Cooler, 65. Mostly sunny on Sunday, 65. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Well, how about the Pistons outscoring the Magic 38-16 in that third quarter?
I mean, I'm watching the third quarter, and I'm like, what? I mean, they were just hitting everything from all cylinders, man. At one point, it was 30-3, that they had outscored them. I'm like, what?
Sean Windsor, the sports columnist at the Detroit Free Press, joins us to talk about it. Boy, Sean, they needed a win last night, and they got it.
They did. Their season was, yeah, right. Halftime, I think it was 46 all, and they were kind of still stuck in the mud. And you're thinking, okay, wow, number one seed are there. Just how much trouble are they in, right? It did not. There was uneasy in there at the Little Caesars Arena for the first half. So for the first 6 quarters of this series, it's like, okay, how are they going to figure out Orlando? And then boy, they did in the third quarter. It was 7-0, 5 or 5-0, 7-0, 9-0, 11-0, and then like you said, 30-3, and wow, that was really something.
And, I was telling Chris that, Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton, Isaiah, they are sitting courtside. How much did this game two actually resemble those going-to-work Pistons?
Well, yeah, it's funny. I mentioned that in my initial call last night. It resembled more the Rip Hamilton and Ben Wallace teams than maybe the Isaiah Thomas teams.
Yeah.
We forget that. They were flying up and down the court back in those days. It wasn't until the late 90s and early 2000s that all of a sudden it was stuck in the muck a little bit. But I was thinking that Ben Wallace would have fit right in the game last night. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, both teams scored under 100 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They still are struggling a little bit from deep, but they dominated much more in the paint last night, which was good to see. But I mean, even some of the areas where I think they can still improve on, like their free throw percentage is just hovering around 50%, and from deep they've struggled the last couple of games. So there's still room here for them to kind of take off from.
No question. And Cade Cunningham, I'm sure going to mention him in a second, was, I think, 1 from 6 from 3, but really, really efficient overall. He's like 10 for 13 from 2. Yeah, from the 3-point line for sure. But Jalen Duren, who did not play well in game 1, didn't have he had a little bit better game last night, but there's still a lot of room for him. I think it was in the third quarter in the midst of that 30-3 onslaught where Cunningham finally gets downhill, gets into the paint, and literally drops it off into the breadbasket during, and he goes up and lays it in or dunks it right. So he got going a tiny bit, but there's overall, yes, they dominated in the paint, which is what they do. They did not in game 1, so that's a good sign. But to me, guys, it's the defense, and they sort of doubled down on their identity, who they are. Javonte Green was great last night. Got a lot more minutes. They just Asar Thompson is the most unique defender in the league, I think, maybe outside of Wemby for sure. Down in San Antonio, he was great. And when those guys are flying around and turning you over and create chaos, it's really something to watch.
And Sean, let's talk about Cade for a minute. I mean, you wrote in your story that he finally broke free. What adjustment did he make that you think changed the entire game?
Well, to me, he scored 39, I want to say, and on fairly decent efficiency in game 1. So the bucket getting wasn't the issue. It was the assist, and it's not that he wasn't trying, looking for his guys, looking for his teammates. But in the third quarter, like I said earlier, when he got downhill and got the ball to Duren, he started spraying it around. He he'd been trying that, but Orlando had been packing in so much that some of those lanes weren't there. They kind of used some high ball screens a little bit and started swinging the ball from side to side. But he, in particular, was kind of penetrating and kicking and finding guys. Tobias Harris in that third quarter,
Right.
Duncan Robinson hit a couple of threes in transition. So the kick aheads. But yet when Cunningham is finding his guys and they're making shots, they're much more effective in that way. I think he had 3 assists in the first half. I want to say 7 in that third quarter in that 30-3 blitz. And that's when the Pistons are at their best offensively.
I think that when Tobias Harris plays that way, when he's into double-double territory like he was last night, to me, they're a very, very hard team to beat. I like him as a linchpin. Obviously, Asard defensively, but when Tobias gets going, this team plays a little differently.
Oh, absolutely. And he didn't shoot as many threes, I want to say, as he did in game one.
No.
He was shooting from, just outside the paint area, the elbow area. They were in rhythm, and they were fairly open shots. They kind of, and Harris talked about it after the game, they found their gaps. They found the creases. They were a little bit more patient that way. And, yeah, it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, you think, I don't even remember what the final score, what they get, 98 points or something. You think, okay, wow, 98. That's, 3 fewer points than they had game one when they lost.
Right.
The efficiency was fine. Like you said earlier, they can improve. But boy, when they lock up like that and start running, it's outside of Oklahoma City, there's not a better defensive team in the league. And the way they defend right now, it's as good as I think we've seen in the league in a while. It's underrated to me still a little bit.
Sean, now that the series shifts to Florida, based on what you've seen in these 2 games, who actually you think has the edge in a long physical series like this?
Well, I think the Pistons are the better defensive team. They're the deeper team. They're the more connected team. I mean, maybe you could argue if you're going to break out the first 7-8 players. Orlando might have a touch more talent, but the Pistons also the best player in the series in Cade Cunningham. And I think that usually favors you. Orlando obviously has home court.
Yeah,
they have a decent crowd down there, right? That's a pretty good fan base. It's not like Miami.
No, it's not.
Where they need Dwayne Wade and LeBron James and Chris Bosh to fill up, right?
Right.
And to go crazy. That's a Dolphins town down there anyway. Let's be real. But but Orlando is a decent basketball town, right?
It is.
They do have some history. It's been a while, so I think it's going to be a pretty good crowd. And the fact that they got a game up here, I think they're going to be supportive. So I feel like the Pistons are going to have to grind one out down there. I don't see them winning both. They're going to have to squeak one out, grind one out, and then come back and win game 5.
Yeah.
Game 5. Yep, right. Yeah. And then either maybe go get the game 6 or 7. But I think it's going to be, this series isn't over for a long way.
Sean Windsor, you're the man. We appreciate you getting up with us this morning. Thank you.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
All right. And this is where they make their hay. If they can go down and win, if they win 2 down there, I mean, my goodness, look out.
Oh, man.
Look out.
They didn't come back here and just take it over.
But if they play the kind of defense that JB Bickerstaff wants them to play.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's Pistons basketball, and that's what it looks like. Like I said, we had one off night just to happen to come at a bad time. But I know what our guys are, and we trusted that they were going to come back tonight, be the best version of themselves at some point.
Then they're going to win this series. If they play the way they did, particularly in that third quarter, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Yeah. Don't let the fans get in their head and just
no. Just get after it. I actually think they thrive on the road. Like they've played some really good games on the road this year.
Yes.
Tough environments. And again, if you're a killer, if you have that mentality, you go on the road, you win those games. You love those kind of games. And that's kind of how Cade strikes me. Cade's a killer. So go down there and get it done. 8 o'clock hour coming up. It's Chair Morning.
For physical health, mental health, and everything in between, Blue Cross is ready to help. Learn more at bcbsm.com.
Transform your home with performance remodeling and experience a renovation destination. Every homeowner who buys a qualifying project gets their choice of a 7-night resort stay or a 7-day cruise for a vacation on their timeline. To learn more, visit windowsroofingsiding.com and enjoy your trip.
Now WJR Health Watch. Here's Lloyd Jackson.
A Parkinson's diagnosis can be life-threatening, but where you go for treatment can make all the difference in quality of life.
It becomes important to see a specialist for Parkinson's disease because there are a variety of treatments that are available. And over the years, the way that we approach treating Parkinson's disease has changed.
Dr. Alan Ellenbogen, he's a movement disorder specialist with the Michigan Institute for Neurological Disorders in Farmington Hills, and he's also president of the Michigan Parkinson's Foundation. Dr. Ellenbogen says once you've been diagnosed with Parkinson's, it's critical to have a specialist like him on your team immediately.
Equally as important is really understanding some of the non-motor aspects of Parkinson's, so how it may affect mood, bowel habits. I had mentioned constipation before, drops in blood pressure and cognitive function. And so looking at that holistic approach can really be helpful in managing the disease.
Dr. Ellenbogen explains how having a comprehensive team can change the long-term outlook for a patient's independence.
When one has a comprehensive team, it really is addressing the variety of issues that arise in Parkinson's. So that team can look like having a neurologist, often a movement disorder specialist, having the appropriate physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology. The stress of importance of exercise is really important. And so there are coaches who are specifically geared toward Parkinson's.
For more information, call the Michigan Institute for Neurological Disorders at 248-553-0010. I'm Lloyd Jackson with WJR Health Watch.
WJR, Detroit.
The U.S. intercepts another Iran oil tanker. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Far away from the Strait of Hormuz, where the blockade remains in place around Iran's ports, the U.S. military seized the ship in the Indian Ocean. More than 30 vessels in all have been turned away or taken over in the blockade.
President Trump says there is no expiration to the ceasefire, telling our own Martha McCallum on the phone, quote, "There is no time pressure on this, that the 3 to 5 day window reported earlier today is false. The blockade scares them even more than the bombing. They've been bombed for years, but the blockade they hate."
That's Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the White House. And he also details this from the Washington Post.
It could take 6 months to fully clear the Strait of Hormuz of mines deployed by the Iranian military, and any such operation is unlikely to be carried out until the U.S. war with Iran ends.
Now, Iran attacked 3 ships yesterday, took control of 2 of them, further disrupting all shipping in the Strait. There was a vote in the Senate at around 3 o'clock this morning to start the process of funding ICE and Border Patrol to get around a block by Democrats who demand immigration enforcement reform. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Democrats are going to hold Republicans' feet to the fire because the American people demand it. The American people are hurting right now because of the soaring cost of living.
The resolution Republicans approved goes to the House in a reconciliation process that'll lead to a Senate bill to fund ICE and Border Patrol. Money for the rest of Homeland Security was approved last month in the Senate, but not in the House yet. The day after a win for Democrats at the polls in Virginia, a win for Republicans in court blocking a congressional redistricting.
Virginia Circuit Court Judge Jack Hurley ruling Wednesday that all votes for or against the proposed amendment were unconstitutional, citing rules that impose certain requirements that the referendum did not meet. Virginia Attorney General Jay Jones immediately moving to challenge the decision, which also blocks the state from implementing the new districts.
That's Fox's Lillian Wu. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Stand Up to Cancer.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Westbound 696 before Van Dyke, an accident's off to the left shoulder. Traffic slow from Groesbeck. Eastbound 94 after Michigan Avenue, and accidents blocking the left lane. Center Street, Northville, still closed between 7 Mile and Fairbrook due to a broken water main. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by University of Michigan's Michigan Creative. Support for Michigan Public comes from the University of Michigan's Look to Michigan campaign, working to solve global challenges through developing new technologies to charge EVs 5 times faster and design buildings with 72% less concrete. Learn more at umich.edu/look. Lots of sunshine today, high is 73. Right now it's 49. Few clouds overnight with a low of 50. Overcast tomorrow, high is 75. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Like many of you, I got LASIK surgery back in the 80s, and recently I started having trouble seeing, and it turns out they never told us LASIK doesn't last forever. So now what? Glasses? I haven't worn glasses in years, and I'm as vain as the next person. But then I remembered Mariana and the staff at Direct Optical Optique and how great they were at finding cool frames that look good on me, because they are frame stylists. You can't get that on the web or a big box store, and nobody has a bigger selection of designer frames than Direct Optical Optique. And Mariana still knows everybody by name. She's still selling cool glasses, one pair at a time, with a very personal touch. So if you wear glasses now or are wearing them again, you got to go to Direct Optical Optique and let them treat you like a star. They're the only ones who can do that. 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple and West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to IKEA. OptiqueDetroit.com on the web.
It's not just morning, it's a JR morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and on the WJR app, where Michigan comes to talk.
All right, 8 o'clock hour. Good to have you.
Me and Chris are playing Name That Tune amongst each other.
What is going on? Yes, we do have Name That Tune, by the way.
Do.
It's coming up at 8:49. And Jason says he's dialed up something special for us, so we'll get to that at 8:49. And
acknowledge me.
Yes, Jason.
Yes, Jace.
Boy, that's just unbelievable. This guy. We do have a stay and play package for you at beautiful Marine Cities in the Inn on Water Street and Thumb Coast Theaters to give away during that as well. Meanwhile, Pistons, big time win yesterday. They win it 98-83 over the Magic, and they did exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah,
exactly what they neaded to do.
I knew they would come out and they would do. It was a little tight the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, they didn't come out quite as it was still a little clunky.
Yeah, it was.
But they really turned it on in the second half.
Third quarter, I mean, they had settled down, and I don't think Orlando knew what hit them. Orlando was like, "What? Who are these guys?" I mean, outscoring them 38-16 in the third quarter. It was like, wow.
Let me ask you that. Are you worried or confident going forward?
Confident, 100%.
I'm with you. I'm confident.
Yes.
Because I think whether or not they turned it on in the start game 2 or to start, you could make the argument that they played for 6 quarters.
Sure.
The whole first game and the first half of last night.
Sure.
Then they turned it on. And what I liked about last night is after they turned it on, they didn't relent.
No, they just kept piling it on.
Right.
Piling it on.
So that's why I feel like there was maybe a shift. Maybe. Now, it's going to get difficult in Orlando.
It is.
But if you play like you did in 3 and 4 yesterday, then you'll be okay.
So
I'm with you. I'm confident.
And I think if the Pistons, start fast and they get ahead, I think mentally it's going to mess with Orlando, and it's going to remind them of what happened in the third quarter. And I just think, even though they're at home, I think mentally it's going to mess with them.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Tigers win yesterday. They beat the Brewers downtown 5-2. Torkelson gets the home run. Jason, what did you make of that? Oh, he's busy. He's getting Name That Tune ready.
Together. Yeah.
I love, again, just like something positive for Spencer Torkelson at the plate at this point is good. And he, has Hadn't had a home run yet this year, but he finally got one. Almost won free pizza for everybody, by the way.
Man,
hitting that thing out there. I don't think that they actually counted that because it hit outside and then rolled in the Little Caesars hole.
Yeah.
So I don't think that actually counted. But regardless, Torkelson goes yard and they win it 5-2, which was nice to see. And the NFL draft is tonight.
Boy, and you think the Lions are going to go O-line?
I think so.
As opposed to D-line?
Yes. So it's tonight. It's actually taking place in Pittsburgh, which is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where I think the Lions go. Now, I'm not really into naming a player. Who cares? You don't know half these people anyway. We'll all learn about them tomorrow.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
I think that the Lions go somewhere in the trenches. Now they're picking 17.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right in the middle of this draft.
Yeah.
And look, if there's anything that we've known from Brad Holmes is he is willing to move up. If there is a guy that this organization absolutely loves, he is not afraid to move up. I mean, he was absolutely killed on draft night a couple of years ago when they traded up to get Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yes.
And then they took Jack Campbell. The consensus among the social media, the real NFL heads.
Yeah.
They were like, what is the Lions? What are they doing?
Uh-huh.
Well, this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
They just got two studs that are major contributors, arguably one of the best running backs in the league, and a guy who's just improving year after year in Jack Campbell.
They have my trust. They have my trust.
I agree. They've been a little woeful in free agency for my liking, but that's a whole other topic.
That's a different topic. Yeah.
I think they go trenches here tonight. I think they try to improve the protection for Jared
Goff. Yeah.
That's when they can shine.
Absolutely. The elections are coming up for governor this year, of course.
What?
And it's a legal battle already, Chris. It's already a legal battle on the Republican side for the race for governor. Businessman Perry Johnson is now suing U.S. Congressman John James, claiming that James is misleading voters by using campaign materials that labeled himself simply as governor without clarifying he's a candidate and not the current governor. The complaint filed in Ingham County Circuit Court argues that violates state law by creating the impression of incumbency and gives James an unfair advantage. And Johnson's campaign is asking a judge to force James to stop using the wording and remove or destroy existing materials. And James's campaign is dismissing the lawsuit as just some political theater, pointing out Johnson previously used similar wording in his own campaign materials. The case now heads to court, where the judge will decide whether the language crosses a legal line or simply standard campaign branding. Perry, I think you might have to defend your use of that word too.
Yeah, he sent out a mailer signing a check and it says Perry Johnson, governor. So, I mean, look, this is the silliness of the political process.
Yeah.
And I can collectively feel your eye rolls in your car right now. I can feel it. I know you're doing it. Because we're all doing it. I mean,
yes, we are.
Look,
I mean, come
you
on,
do what
man.
you got to do, and if you feel like there is an unfair advantage there too, but then couldn't John James just
do the same?
File the reverse?
That's it.
I don't know.
And it'll just get canceled out, and it'll just be thrown out or whatever. And help me, get my finances.
Here's
together.
what I want you to do. I want you to tell me how you're going to run the state.
That's it.
I want you to tell me what your priorities are.
How you going to improve reading?
You want to cut taxes
or
property taxes? God bless. I would love it. Tell me how you're going to do it.
That's it.
That's what I want to hear.
That's all.
I don't need the infighting. I don't need any of this. And then, by the way, whenever somebody, this is also the funny part of all of this, is, I got Donald Trump in 2015 on a stage belittling Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio or whatever. And now Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Right? You got Kamala Harris being like, bagging on Joe Biden for racial profiling on buses.
Yes.
And she's his vice president.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Enough. Tell us what you're going to do for us. That's what I want to hear. All the infighting and all that nonsense, you deal with that behind closed doors.
It is. It's so petty.
It is. It is petty.
It's just petty, man.
It is petty. And that's okay too. It's okay too. I don't need it to dominate.
No.
You can get a little petty. You can send out your commercials and things like that.
That's different.
Get after it.
Yeah, but making, lawsuits and stuff, I don't know. When you're both basically guilty of doing the same thing.
Yeah, to me, it's just, I don't understand it. Meanwhile, how about Jamie Ding?
Man, 28?
29.
29.
Now.
Oh,
29 straight. Yes.
The bot. I mean, the guy.
The bot. The man, the myth, the legend, Jamie Ding, the Grosse Pointe native, wins $19,000 last night. He is closing in on $800,000 in winnings.
Wow.
$793,000.
Man.
Unbelievable. 29 in a row, still in fifth place all time. And just, now 3 or 4 behind James Holzhauer?
Yes.
So he is closing.
Next week,
I mean, look,
next week he can do it. You can get past
at
it.
what point do you put like Jamie Ding on like the Mount Rushmore
of Jeopardy?
Of Jeopardy. I mean, he's up there. He is.
Yes.
He is approaching that stage.
They're chiseling.
Yes. They're sculpting.
Yes.
In clay to prepare.
There you go.
For the
yes.
Coming up on the other side, yes, draft night tonight, round 1 of the NFL draft in Pittsburgh. Matt Derry from Locked On Lions joins us to talk about what exactly the Lions are going to do. It's next on JR Morning.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Looking to get organized? Turn to shelving.com for storage solutions built around you. From small wire shelving projects to full Unorack pallet racking systems, their team designs and equips turnkey facilities tailored to your exact needs. Get started at shelving.com, your partner in smarter storage.
Shelving.com. Shelving.com. We rack your world.
Support for Michigan Public comes from the University of Michigan's Look to Michigan campaign, dedicated to serving the public good by providing access to legal services, safer drinking water, and cancer-fighting treatments. Learn more at umich.edu/look.
Spring is here, and so are the savings at Clarkston Window and Door. This month, get 37% off installed replacement windows, plus 0% financing for 15 months. You heard that right, 37% off. 0% financing for 15 months. And Clarkston is even giving you free exterior color on top of all that. Call Clarkston Window and Door today or visit us online.
We sell, we install. That's right, we do it all. Clarkston Window and Door.
Tigers fans 21 plus, head to Comerica Park on May 1st for $5 Friday.
Way back and gone.
When the time gates open at 5 p.m. through the third inning, select 12 to 16-ounce beers will be just $5, including craft options. This will be offered at various locations around the ballpark. The Tigers host an exciting matchup with the Texas Rangers and get our most discounted beer offering of the season. There's no better way to start your weekend. Learn more or get your tickets now at tigers.com/Friday.
No matter where you look, rising costs are hitting Michiganders hard. When you're forced to make tough choices, keeping the lights and heat on shouldn't be one of them. Consumers Energy is stepping up, giving back $5 million to assistance agencies and supporting efforts to increase energy assistance dollars for families in need by 50%. And with personalized energy savings programs, you can take steps to start reducing your energy bills today. Count on Consumers Energy for support. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/help.
Listen for the SAE Ion Engineering every Monday morning on JR Morning. Ion Engineering is sponsored by CSP, the Composite Solutions Partner, an industry leader in lightweighting and advanced composites. Learn more at thecsp.com.
This Thursday on My Great Plates, we're joined by Jeremy Sasson, owner of Heirloom Hospitality. They're the team behind some of Detroit's most recognized restaurants, including Townhouse, Prime and Proper, and Mad Nice. Over the past 15 years, he's built a portfolio of concepts that each have a distinct identity while consistently delivering on a high level. We're going to get into how all that came together, what it takes to operate multiple restaurants at once at that level, and where things go from here for this wildly successful and very driven restaurateur. Join us this Thursday at 8 p.m. on WJR.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies. Dell PCs with Intel Inside are built for the moments that matter, like when you're finishing a big project and you can't be interrupted by an update. With long-lasting battery life and built-in intelligence, you can stay focused on what matters most. Built for you. Learn more at Dell.com/Dell PCs.
Few problems on the roads right now, especially along 94 westbound at Rotunda, and accidents off to the right shoulder. Crash is taking up the left lane on eastbound 94 at 75. Traffic slow from Livernois and eastbound 94 at Michigan Avenue. Accident off to the right shoulder there. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. Wonder what your roof should cost? Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com to get a free instant quote. Sign up today for your roof replacement and get entered to win a free roof. Now, that's a great deal. To qualify for this exclusive offer, visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. Here's your forecast.
Great looking day yesterday. We're going to tack on another one today before showers arrive midday into the afternoon. Tomorrow, sunshine expected. A little cool early, 75 later. Tonight, some clouds, 53, 40 suburbs. And a few showers around tomorrow. A little breezy, 75. Shower Saturday, sunshine, though, returning on Sunday. Highs in the mid-60s over the weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Coming up at 2 o'clock on JR Afternoon, Game 2 of the NBA playoffs. The Pistons looking to even up their series with the Orlando Magic. We'll check in from Little Caesars Arena and so much more. 760 WJR.
And with the 17th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select, and that will be the question tonight.
Lloyd Jackson.
Yeah. It'll actually be the question whether or not they actually stay at 17.
Right.
Night one of the draft tonight, 8 o'clock, from the Steel City, Pittsburgh. Jamie will be dialed in, and
football town.
We know you will too. Let's get into it. Matt Derry, an analyst over at Locked On Lions podcast, joins us. Matt, it's good to have you back, my friend.
What's happening, Chris? Lloyd, how are you guys?
We're good.
Let's talk about it. What do you think happens tonight? What do you think the most pressing need is? I mean, I think somewhere along the trenches, but specifically offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, that's where everybody thinks they're going to go is tackle. The question is, do they move up from 17 because they feel that teams that are in need of a tackle, especially in the NFC, Philly, Chicago, a lot of rumors about these teams wanting to move up to maybe 15 or 16, leapfrog the Lions at 17 in order to get one of these big tackles that maybe the Lions covet. And look, a lot of smoke about Caden Proctor from Alabama and whether or not the Lions like him or not. Daniel Jeremiah, one of the draft experts, is along with Peter Schrager from ESPN. Both of them have sources that have said that there's no way Proctor falls past 17. So if the Lions like Proctor, but a team wants to come up and get Proctor ahead of them, do the Lions move up? Then there's Spencer Fano, who's clearly the second best tackle on the board after Maui Noah from Miami. If the Lions are in love with Fano and think he's their right tackle of the future, would they move up to go get him? So a lot plays into it, but there are some that feel like a Fano is really good, but so is Maxie Honicher from Arizona State or Blake Miller from Clemson, who maybe you can get later in the first round. So there's a lot of maneuvering that's going to have to take place tonight.
What about an edge rusher? How big a priority is finding somebody to help opposite Aiden Hutchinson?
Well, Lloyd, we've been talking about that for 3 years. I mean, it's like, the fans are so ready for the Lions to draft an edge either at 17 or at 50 in the second round on Friday. Everybody wants that. The question is, how badly do the Lions really feel that's a need? They've got DJ Wanham, who they picked up from free agency. They gave him a decent chunk of change for 1 year, but the name to keep an eye on is this Malachi Lawrence kid from Central Florida. He's mocked by a lot of people to be a late first rounder, but not as high as 17. But the Lions, according to Dave Burkett from the Free Press, talked to him yesterday on Zoom. So if they like Lawrence, I don't think they're taking him at 17, but do they trade down and take him later, or do they trade up and somehow at some point at the end of the night to try to get 2 picks in the first round. We'll see.
Yeah, I kind of like. I mean, I like where you're at with Caden Proctor. To me, that's a guy that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if he's going to be to 17, but what we know from night one is it can get pretty crazy. And I mean, if these rumors about Arizona loving Jeremiah Love enough to take him at number 3, I mean, that would throw the board into a tizzy going down board too.
I mean, that's the thing, and you're so right about this, Chris, is these teams do some silly stuff. It only takes one GM to make a stupid mistake. And I'm not saying Jeremiah Love's a bad player, he's a great player, but I'm not taking a running back at 3, not when you're in Arizona and your offensive line is a tire fire. But you're right. Somehow, some way, will there be somebody tonight that says, oh, what the hell? Let's take Ty Simpson, the quarterback from Bama, way early. That opens up these spots for the Lions to not have to trade up and to get one of these tackles at 17. But again, Brad Holmes has said for years, I'm taking the best player available at 17. So what if Kenyon Sadiq, the all-world tight end from Oregon, is sitting there at 17 and he's the best player on their board? Would Brad take a tight end at 17 and the fan base will go nuts? They'll be so pissed off.
Yeah.
So, but if he's the best player on their board, they might stay with best player available and take a tackle later. So there is a lot in play here. And Holmes made a point to say last week that we don't necessarily have to take a tackle. We like Larry Borum or an edge. We like DJ Wanham. So it adds some intrigue to the evening for sure.
Well, they got options. You think it's more likely up or down if they were to make a move?
I'm leaning toward down still, Chris, because I think you look at a kid like Blake Miller, who I mentioned before from Clemson. He's just a really solid tackle who did it at a high level in the ACC. He started over 50 games for Clemson. You stick him at right tackle, he'll do a nice job. And he's a safe pick that maybe you can get at 22, 23, or 24 and trade down.
Yeah.
And then get that 3rd round pick back that you traded away last year for Tesla. So it just depends how the board drops.
Yeah. They got options.
That's the guy that, they
got options.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the good news.
Sure.
Matt Derry, always appreciate catching up. Thanks for your time this morning. We'll talk soon.
Thinking about Jamie, guys. We miss her.
Thank you.
Thank you. We miss her too. Thank you.
Listen, I went to the movies last night. Now,
did you?
Friday is the day that.
Are you like a popcorn guy? Big drink?
Yeah. Oh, popcorn, big drink. I didn't do
Raisinets.
I didn't do the Raisinets. I didn't do a drink last night because I didn't want to have to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of this movie.
So what'd you see?
I saw Michael.
Okay,
and
cool.
It comes out Friday, but I got to see it yesterday. And so, because I got the inside, Jackson, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and
right.
My family was the original Jackson 5, and they, because we were here in Motown, they kind of had to move to Motown. But that's a whole nother story. But anyway.
Are you are you taking credit?
I'm just saying.
I mean, if the shoe
5
fits.
of us, we're the Jackson 5. But anyway, the movie I thought was really good. I thought it was good. There's been some critiques about it, and I'll talk about that in a second. But just the fact Jafar Jackson, who is Michael's nephew, who played Michael, I thought did really well capturing Michael Jackson.
Okay.
From the voice of Michael Jackson, and I'm talking about his speaking voice.
Yeah.
Because the songs were more or less Michael, of course.
Sure.
The moves, all of that, the dance moves, you could tell he had really studied his uncle. Also, Coleman Domingo, who plays Joe Jackson, the father.
Yeah.
Dude.
They had a great relationship.
Oh, yeah. That guy played that part. And listen, we know Joe Jackson was hard, and we've heard that before.
Sure.
But boy, there's some things in this movie. It's like Joe is crazy. Joe, and it makes you really realize why Michael had issues down the line, and
did they get into any of those issues?
They did not get into the molestation issue because the movie ends like in the bad era, and those molestation issues happened after that. Now, when you look at the end of the movie, you kind of see that it could be a part 2, and they have been talking about that, a part 2, and they're saying that it needs to make about $700 million worldwide.
They'll make that.
And
That's a lot of money.
And they'll talk about part 2. Yeah.
I don't know. Here's why I'm not interested in it. It has nothing to do with Michael Jackson because I own Thriller. I own Bad. Those are great albums.
Yeah.
I know the story. I remember all of this, so I'm not sure you're going to get any of my money.
Yeah.
And I know it's not aimed at me.
No, and it's
aimed at
I
younger
actually think
people.
it would be aimed at you
Why?
because this is the era.
But I've seen it.
Yeah,
I know the story.
But you
I was there
relive
when it happened.
You relive it.
But I think it's more for families too, and especially for younger kids who didn't live through what
Correct.
we lived through.
Correct.
For
That's
them,
what I
it's
mean.
huge.
It's for people who like Michael Jackson but don't know the story.
I like Michael Jackson, like everybody. I mean, I'm not going to see this. Not because it's Michael, whatever. I'm just not going to see it. I didn't go see Bohemian Rhapsody when it came out.
You
The
waited
Freddie
for the
Mercury
screen.
story.
I know the
I didn't
story.
wait to go see the Elton John movie. I waited.
Yeah.
But you thumbs up. You're in.
Oh, I'm in for what
And,
it,
and
what
it's
it is.
probably like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's probably a great movie.
Yeah.
But I know the story. I didn't see Titanic. The boat sinks, right? I'm not giving you
stop
money
it.
to watch what I know happened.
Okay.
I know Michael
See,
had a
you're gonna-
terrible life and was like his dad tortured him mentally. I remember
Yeah.
seeing all this when it happened. I don't need to see a movie to know it happened. But I know younger people, and it's probably like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's probably a great movie. I'll see it when it comes out.
And all the people who saw it said they want to
Good.
go see it again.
Yeah, they liked it. All right, more coming up next on JR Morning.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Fox News, I'm CJ Pop with the War Department announcing the seizure of another oil tanker linked to Iran in the Indian Ocean. But there's not much movement in the Middle East conflict.
Officials say the Iran war is at a standoff. The blockade remains in place. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed. President Trump says there is no expiration to the ceasefire.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the White House. While most of us were sleeping, senators voting for a budget plan to fund ICE and Border Patrol. Democrats' outrage with the bill now goes to the House. Wildfires burning in the Southeast.
Both of those fires burning on the Florida-Georgia line, 10% containment. The weather conditions are not working in our favor. It's going to be a hot, dry day, and we're also looking at a little bit of wind.
That is Fox weather meteorologist Berta Merwin reporting. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Westbound 94 at Rotunda, we have a crash off to the right shoulder. An accident's blocking the left lane of eastbound 94 at 75. Traffic slow from Livernois. Eastbound 94 after Telegraph, an accident in the right lane. Crash off to the right shoulder of eastbound 94 at Michigan Avenue. And northbound 75 at Holly Road, accident in the construction zone, taking up the 2 right lanes. Traffic's getting by in the left lane only. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Lots of sunshine today, a high of 73. Right now, it's 50. Few clouds overnight with a low of 50. Overcast tomorrow, high of 75. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Faulty electrical can be dangerous. Call Lighthouse Electrical for a free 30-point home inspection, plus knock off $200 on any service upgrade. Call Lighthouse Electrical at 888-915-4448. Keep your home powered with Lighthouse.
There are moments of pure greatness all around if we linger long enough to soak them in. Sharing stories and lures down at the docks as you practice the perfect cast. renting bikes for the family and pedaling along a scenic, shaded trail, perusing a local farmer's market for the makings of a picnic, spreading out your blankets and bites by the waterside on a sun-soaked afternoon. Find your own moments of pure greatness when you go Great Lakes Bay in Michigan. Visit gogreat.com to plan your next vacation.
Join Jack Razula every Saturday night at 10 p.m. for Anything is Possible. Hear Jack present uplifting stories of some of the world's most remarkable people and their extraordinary life journeys. Anything is Possible. Sponsored in part by Ideal Group. We are Ideal.
Weingarts, everything from lawn to snow.
Hi, I'm Dan Weingarts. When it comes to outdoor power equipment, you're never on your own. Since 1945, our customers and communities have trusted Weingarts for expert advice. That's why we stand behind Exmark zero-turn mowers, engineered for cut quality, smooth handling, and long-term reliability. Stop by our stores or visit us at Weingarts.com, where our experts will help you choose the right Exmark mower for your lawn. Expert solutions, honest value, easy ownership. That's the Weingarts way.
The Novi Home and Garden Show returns April 24th through 26th to the Vibe Credit Union Showplace.
Meet hundreds of experts, get thousands of ideas, and save big with special show-only pricing.
Step inside a spring oasis of beautiful landscapes, plant life, and water features.
Tour 8 homes in the Manufactured Home Showcase.
Shop local artisans and crafters in the Michigan Marketplace.
And learn from gardening experts on our tips and trend stage.
Join us April 24th through 26th.
Get discount tickets at novihomeshow.com.
Here's Ryan Goldberg, President and CEO of DFCU Financial.
At DFCU, our credit union is all about our members and the community. We're not just focused on numbers and metrics, but we are focused on doing the right thing for our communities. That's why we pay back earnings to our members through a very popular cashback program.
How about small business owners? How do they benefit from being with DFCU?
Our business and commercial banking teams bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise to benefit you. By understanding your unique financial needs, our team can deliver tailored lending solutions, deposit, and treasury management. Working with DFCU means you'll have access to decision makers and benefit from speed to market. We're in a strong liquidity position, and that means we have money to lend and the willingness to lend it. Business lenders often have a box that customers must fit into. We don't work that way.
Some restrictions apply. Visit dfcufinancial.com for details. DFCU Financial is an equal housing lender, federally insured by NCUA. Catch up with Dave Llewellyn on his podcast, now available on WJR.com.
Pamela Good, co-founder of Beyond Basics, Literacy. How big a problem is it?
There are a lot of things that have snuck up on us. And one of those is when the universities decided to do away with phonics. Mm-hmm. And when they did that, they really took out the foundational components of that. You know, most people believe that America's foundation of education is still reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Supposed to be, right?
It is now whole language, no cursive, and new math.
Yeah. The Dave Llewellyn Podcast. Go to WJR.com/Llewellyn. That's WJR.com/LEW Llewellyn.
On your ride home, check out the Mitch Albom Show at 4 p.m. Now to get your day started, here's JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
So there is a growing percentage of S&P 500 companies that are openly crediting artificial intelligence with real measurable business results. And it's not just hype. It's not just bluster. And interesting story out of Axios as an analysis of earnings calls. About 1/4 of S&P 500 firms reported at least one quantifiable impact from AI in the first quarter of this year. So they are actually reaping the benefits